I hope you will grow faster, taking things from my imperial palace then just leave without saying anything. He spoke in a low-pitched voice, perhaps for the reason that he just came out of the bath. It is also slightly hoa. R.S.E. Like a long-cherished mellow when a person drinks a good wine. Mu Qian looked at him straight and said, Your Highness, Knight Prince, I'm just going back to my residence. Say, do you have proof that I took something from your palace? This time, Xianyuan Jiuyi moved towards her direction. Mu Qian couldn't tell how he did it, but her arm was tightly restrained by him. At this time, the distance between the two people is very close. When Mu Qian bows down, in the open robe of Jiuyi, a perfect picture that can make people have a nosebleed was seen. A cold voice came, interrupting her imagination run wild. Do you want this prince to search? That pair of icy blue eyes, bottomless and cold. If other men would say that, she would think that he is molesting her. But will this cold Ashura even molest her? What a joke. The cold stare coming from Ashura makes her unable to look into his eyes. She glanced at the supposed-to-be promissory note in her hand. She began to stammer. I.sto. Borrowed. I borrowed something from you. Look. I've also made a note. See. I am Mu Qian Shi, the current lord of the Mu Jia. Just ask what you lack of. I absolutely has no shortage of money. I owe you something and I'll definitely repay it. Mu Qian even patted her chest to ensure this promise. Xianyuan Jiuye's fingertips move, taking the paper in her hand as he tried to read what nonsense this woman wrote. With just a flick, Mu Qian's so-called promissory note was burned to ashes. This doesn't count. You. Then just tell me what you want. Give me a word. Mu Qian angrily said as she tries to remove Jiuye's hand from grabbing her. Mu Qian didn't think that with her careless attitude like this, the Ashura will be very displeased. Adding another low pressure and intense chill, she felt goosebumps MPS all over. Xianyuan Jiuyi lowered his head, his lips slowly closing to her earlobes. The hot breath sent a jolt in her body. Mu Qian felt her ears are hot. Thankfully the cold voice of Ice Block cools her down. Jiuyi, my name. Eep. Mu Qian's face suddenly turned red. She looks confused upon what Xianyuan Jiuyi have said. Two pair of eyes is now at a stalemate. Mu Qian really doesn't know what to do, hence she can only stare at him, while Xianyuan Jiuyi felt that she is unwilling to call his name, thus making his mood sour, as he stared right back at her dangerously. Housekeeper Bai, who is hiding in the side, is dying. Master. Can't you speak clearly? You want the princess to call your name, then just say it. What's the matter with you? So guys, you need to get used to it eventually. XD, the master seems to really care for the princess, else he will not allow the princess to call his name. The night wind is blowing gently, the two-person seems to be in a deadlock. Xianyuan Jiuyi, just as in the past, tall and cold, while Mu Qian felt more helpless. Is this guy gonna continue this till morning? What the hell do I need to do in order for him to let me go? Your Highness Night Prince, you see the night's wind is very cold, right? She nodded and said. How about we return to our respective house and forget what happened today? Mu Qian laughed forcefully. Jiuyi. He frowned, and once again slowly says these two words. Mu Qian is not stupid, she just froze for a minute due to this guy's air-conditioned head. After he emphasized it twice, Mu Qian finally understood. Turns out he doesn't like to be called the Night Prince, she muttered. Jiu Yi. Hearing these two words, Jiuyi finally let go. Thank you for your Jinwuxu Emperor Gra. I will pay you back later. When Mu Qian was about to retreat quickly, her arm was pulled again. Mu Qian glared at him. This guy is addicted at grabbing her all right. His movement was gentle and a little rough. He brought her to his arms, as the black figure disappears. Where are you taking me? He's not looking for a place to destroy her body, is it? But looking at this road, it seems to be a bit familiar. Bang! The door was pushed open. Mu Qian found out that this is his Lingyao pharmacy. Why did he bring her here? The Prince of the Night watched her for a moment, finally opened his mouth. What you want, take it all. The behavior of this man once again makes him unpredictable. What the hell is wrong him? Even giving money like this, is he also addicted? Mu Qian's look can't be described. She turned to Xianyuan Jiuyi. Night. Before she had finished her words, she was interrupted by the cold voice of Ashura. Jiuyi. Mu Qian, take a deep breath. Calling the Ashura prince's name still needs psychological capacity after all. Collecting her thoughts for a moment, she said sincerely, Jiuyi, I want you to give me a reason. You've done so many outrageous things for me for no apparent reason lately. I do not want to collect benefits for nothing. This man is treacherous and mysterious. A housekeeper of his can even scare Xianyuan Li Tian to death. He's definitely not someone who likes to do good things. That pair of icy blue eyes looked at her, like someone who's devoid of emotion. He said, I hope you grow up quickly. Her heart rate slowed to half a beat. His hope and her goal turned out to be the same. Is it useful for him if Mu Qian grows up quickly? Could it be that in order to flatter Ting to follow him, he wanted to show off his wealth? Mu Qian did not ask for another reason. Although she's not familiar with this guy, she believed that if he wanted to say it, he'd say it. She still doesn't have the strength to force him to say what he doesn't want to say. She nodded. All right then, I will take these elixirs. Actually, you're right. I need to get stronger as soon as possible. Mu Qian like a bandit swept all the elixir inside. Night Palace is indeed the most mysterious place in the Purple Moon Kingdom. The things in his pharmacy were much better than her family's pharmacy. After wiping out Jiu Ye's whole pharmacy, Mu Qian's figure disappeared in a flash. The handsome man in black robe looked at the direction where she disappeared. The corners of the mouth slightly evoke an arc. Ting you be, S-T-R-D. Let me go. What the hell is going on? She shouted angrily while being carried on his shoulder. She really doesn't know what happened a minute ago. Ting flipped her over. He rolled his eyes and said with a mocking tone. That man is insane. You'll ask me how did I know? Isn't it obvious enough? My instinct tells me that it must have something to do with me. He cleared his throat and continued. Because there is a contract binding us, he cannot take me away from you, since he cannot get any benefits from me. He is now so good to you. I'm afraid he is not coveting me as an eternal artifact but for this uncle's dazzling appearance. As your strength becomes stronger, the faster I can become an adult. By the time I'm strong enough to regain my human form, he will surely come for me. Mu Qian's mouth is twitching so hard right now. Someone come and kill this self-centered, disgraceful man. Go back to where you belong. I don't want to talk to you. Mu Qian's body flashed, as she quietly sneaked into the night. In the SPACE of Ting, as he watches the water he whispered, ugly woman, the things that this uncle had said are pure nonsense. Hurry up and get stronger. The purpose of that guy, I'm afraid. What a bad luck. It is already difficult to have someone who is capable of forming a contract with. Ting becomes frantic at Mu Qian's future days. A dense MC. Check. An indirect ML. Check. A smart third wheel. Check. Sorry, I was on a meeting with my coworkers earlier. I kind of forgot to post it online, hee. The founder of Mu Jia since funeral, the people felt their lord had changed for the better. She don't go swaggering her wealth in the streets, she doesn't get jealous with Xianyuan Tian's affairs, and most importantly, she isn't the talk of the town anymore. Because as of now, Mu Qianxi is currently reading books in the Mu Jia's library, getting to know this world much better. In the previous Mu Qian's mind, there's no record of that at all. She is really odd, despite living all these years, she scarcely remember anything during these past 3 years. Aside from that, any memories of her past were completely blank. The memory and intelligence of the Lord before the age of 13 is like a baby. Afterwards, she met Mu Ruyun together with her sister Mu Ruyun. These sisters were the ones who accompanied her to learn more about worldly matters. But at the same time, they taught Mu Qianxi not to practice and cultivate. She became accustomed to love ease and comfort and hate work, to squander money like dirt, and they also tried to hide her appearance with thick rouge. The extreme love she felt for Xianyuan Li Tian and her staying away from her little uncle was also the intention of these two. No one knows where Mu Qianxi was 13 years ago. In any case, ever since she met her little uncle twice already and appointed her as the new lord of the Mu Jia, she has to do her best. In this place, Mu Qian had learned a lot. She certainly can handle them now. Meanwhile, Third Master, the little master, is reading books in the library. A shadow suddenly kneeled down in one knee in front of Mu Wushuang. The little master is acting a bit different today, won't Third Master come and see? The little master seems to be like a different person. He's afraid that it's someone who disguised herself to look like the little master. Since his eyes are not enough, he turned to report this to Third Master instead. Only he can tell if it is true or not. He was not pleased with the little master's misbehavior, which smeared the plea of the Mu Jia's lord everywhere. But if something happens to the little master, how can he be worthy to stay beside his lord? No need, inform Sheer she can come see me anytime. Mu Wushuang said calmly. The shadow couldn't help but be surprised. But he can see that the Third Master looks undisturbed, so he decided to drop this topic and just follow his orders instead. He bowed and said, "Yes." "What?" Unexpectedly, Mu Qianxi is studying in the library. The 3 elders are somewhat shocked. Did the sun rise in the west today? Maybe, due to suddenly withdrawing from her marriage, she felt motivated. Elder 1A summed. I don't think so. Clearly this little girl was an idiot 3 years ago, now she's reading a book. When did she have the time to grow up? As I see it, she is just doing this for appearance. Elder 2 taunted. His precious granddaughter hand was mutilated by Mu Qianxi. He hated her to the core. Stop it, I called the 2 of you today to discuss what to do for tomorrow's clan meeting. Great Elder Coldy said. We will proceed as planned. The next day, a servant informed her. Lord, the elders are waiting for you in the meeting hall. The clan conference is about to begin. Mu Qian lazily said. Tell them I will be a bit late. The servant secretly pondered. The Lord is truly scared. The one time she partook. Aided in the clan meeting, the elders said cruel things that made her cry. Ever since then she never joined them again. No wonder she acts like this. Lord, the elders are waiting, he repeated softly. I'm the Lord, let them wait. Do they still dare to say no? Mu Qian's pitch-black eyes flashed a cold trace. With her imposing manner, the servant was somehow speechless. Forgive this lowly servant, I'll tell them immediately. He quickly flees. With the current attitude of the Lord, he seemed to saw the former Lord instead. Mu Qian was dazzled by the sunlight coming in from the gaps of the window. She originally thought that being a nouveau riche, she could eat and drink her heart out. A group of wild wolves, posing as elders in the Mu Jia, is truly a mystery that suits her appetite. Her father is an absolute genius. 9 years ago Mu Jia appeared in the Purple Moon Kingdom. In order to start their business, her father exchanged elixirs to obtain money, and this was used as a capital. With only 3 years, Mu Jia became the richest clan in the whole Purple Moon Kingdom. But after building their solid foundation in this place, her mother had disappeared without a trace. Some even thought it was just a fling. Her mother disappeared and her father had left to search. According to a shadow, she wanted to chase after her father. But her eldest brother, who was 16 years old at that time, had also left home when she was just about 10 years old. In the end, only she and little uncle were left behind. If they're at home, she doesn't need to deal with this shit. As a second generation in the family, she should be living in peace. She don't need to cultivate and practice martial arts, but instead focus on making medicines and poisons, spend her life freely like a fairy. But now, she not only need to deal with these old men but also maintain the Mu Jia's financial situation. In Mu Qian's eyes a dangerous trace was seen. Since these old badgers are here for me, then don't blame me. Even if the founder of Mu Jia isn't here and has been gone for almost 19 years, even if you try to jump, I will not let you guys get what you want. In the meeting hall, that DAMNSLUT even dare to let us wait for too long. Due to Mu Qian arriving slowly, the hall's atmosphere is cold, the looks of all the 9 elders are gloomy. Only the elder sitting at the end of the 9 elders is sipping his tea calmly. This time a cold hum was heard. If this lord tells you to wait, you will have to wait for this lord. Don't forget that I am the Mu Jia's lord and you all are just slaves of my family. A purple dress with silver embroideries swayed in front of each of them. She took a seat gracefully and grandly as if she was the emperor. The delicate skirt slipped down, added with the gorgeous light, she looked like a goddess sitting in her pedestal. The woman's phoenix-like eyes and luscious red lips, skin like snow, flawless, her hair is black like a raven's feather, an incomparable beauty that is out of this world. Words can't describe her enough. All the elders froze. Who is this woman? Is it Mu Qian, she's twin sister? Everyone can't believe their eyes. The Mu Qian they know always keep her head down, whatever harsh things they say she won't retaliate and just cry. But now, it was as if they had been trampled under her feet. Who are you? The third elder asked. Mu Qian's mouth sneered. Is the third elder's eyes blind? You don't even know what this lord looks like. Say, what is the use of keeping you here? The third elder shut his mouth and did not dare to look at her anymore. They all knew now that this lord had completely changed, she can't be bullied easily anymore. The great elder compared her appearance before and today. He did not suspect her as a fake, because even Mu Wushuang didn't said anything either. He suspected that the previous Mu Qian was just a plot by Mu Wushuang to trick everyone. The previous lord, Mu Fengyun, was a peerless talent after all. His daughter will definitely not be stupid. No matter what, she is still Mu Qian, with her little uncle to back her up. Who will still try to fight her face to face? Even if they find her suspicious, they are afraid to act. Mu Qian slowly and carefully glanced at them. An elder broke the silence and said respectfully. Since the Lord is here, the clan discussion begins. This chapter is too long. I almost wanted to split this into 2 parts but decided to post it late as a whole instead. Mu Qian's parents are still alive, she even have an elder brother but sadly they are all apart from each other. There's nothing you can do at the beginning of the clan meeting, they were reprimanded by Mu Qian, because of that they would never dare to say anything about her being late. She is the master of the family, the absolute lord of the Mu Jia. Even if she told them to wait for half a year's time, there should be no problem. The great elder made a signal to the 4th elder and the 4th elder said. Lord, it is not right that you've driven out pharmacist Lien, he is the only pharmacist in the entire Mu Jia. We are finished as soon as he leaves the clan. With a worried look he added. How many young talents of ours wouldn't have the chance to use any immortality elixirs? We need to fix this quickly. Our Mujia's power isn't the same as it was before, compared to the other clans we are at the bottom. If this continues, I'm afraid, with the fourth elder's long-winded discussion about the expulsion of Lian, it showed how grave the situation is, and how will it affect the entire Mujia. Mu Qian, who is already annoyed by these old badgers, said. Oh. I didn't know that driving out a thrash pharmacist would result to the Mujia's extinction. Are all of the Mujia's members feel the same way you do? In this kingdom, is it required for every family to have a pharmacist, even if that so-called pharmacist has no talent? As I see it, compared to that trash, you elders are all waste. So tell me, what are you all still doing here? Aren't you all going to die eventually? The elders are all stiff, they can't keep up with what the Lord is saying. But they were powerless to refute it. The great elder hastily said. Lord, we cannot say that, we must get him back. Although losing a pharmacist would not be the cause of destruction in the clan, but he can still play a good role. Since the Lord is the one who driven him out. May I trouble the Lord to prepare a proper ceremony to appoint Lian as our pharmacist again? Appoint him. You wanted this Lord to ask a trash to come back. She slammed her fist and shouted. Elder, are you out of your mind? Seeing her getting mad, second elder added fuel to the fire. If this matter can't be solved immediately, it will cause the clan great difficulties. We have no other choice but feel wrong to you, Lord. The third elder fans the flames. That's right. We still rely on the Mujia to make a living. If because of the Lord's decision our clan will end, our family will have to follow our hardships, so we can only wrong the Lord. They're really trying hard to seize power, they can even speak in a dignified manner such as this, truly a bunch of hypocrites. She looked at them and said. Did I say I was the one who threw Lian out of here? She continued with a smug look. It is him who thinks that he's a trash, and that he is not worthy to be the pharmacist of my family. Impossible. Yes. Lian is a first CLA's pharmacist in the Purple Moon Kingdom. Lord, I know you just trying to let go of your offense, but don't say such unrealistic lies. You don't believe me. Mu Qian with a smile ordered. Shadow. Bring pharmacist Wang here. Thawed. A person was thrown into the meeting hall, at this time the person is rancid and formless. These elders may be old, but their eyes are still fine. They immediately recognized the face of Lian despite how hideous he looked right now. Boo-hoo, Lord, I was wrong. Please give me the antidote. I can't take it anymore. Lian howled and cried like a child. This is my spatial ring with all my possessions in it. I really can't gather the amount you've wanted, but please be merciful and let me live a little longer. He took out a lot of elixir, gold and silver jewelries and various treasures. Such wealth, even the elders are jealous. As a pharmacist, it is a given that they're rich, but his wealth is on a whole level. This guy's been here for 3 years already, the money he had is more than the elder's savings for a decade, and it really makes people jealous. Please. Lord. Give me the antidote. Mu Qian lazily leaned on her seat and laughed as she said. You want the antidote? Sure, but you have to tell these old men that you are a trash as a pharmacist first. Yes, yes. I am a trash pharmacist. In the Danjizong my skills is completely at the bottom, when I was still here in the Mujia, I only know how to eat and drink. He looked happy when he said it, as if he wasn't talking about himself but someone else. Then say that you're also willing to leave the Mujia. A trash like me simply do not deserve to be the pharmacist of this clan. Since I have no face left, I will leave voluntarily. Face here can be CLA. Sified as dignity or prestige. Mu Qian, pleased with oneself, said. Elders, what else does he need to say? I told you that this lord is not related to this after all. The second elder said in a hurry. But Lord, it is really heartbreaking for you to use such a non-transparent means to persecute W.A.N. Ji Lian. This truly caused us pain. Mu Qian coldly said. What nonsense are you spouting? The ends justifies the means. This is not related to this lord. If you continue to dwell on this, I'll guarantee that you'll end up worse than him. A fair and honest plan. The threat of Mu Qian Shi is extremely shameless. A few elders cursed this lord in their hearts. Mu Qian used this trick. The elders can't do anything but helplessly shook their heads. W.A.N. Ji Lian don't care about anything anymore, he pleaded. Lord Mu, the antidote, please give me the antidote. You don't need antidote for this poison, just soak in salt water for a day. When pharmacist Lian disappeared in the meeting hall, the elders felt that everything that happened earlier was just an illusion. How did she scare W.A.N. Ji Lian like that? When W.A.N. Ji Lian saw Mu Qian Shi again, the elders felt that she was a ghost. Whatever Mu Qian said, W.N. Ji Lian did not refute any of it. They felt that they are not as good as they used to be. Mu Qian yawned and asked. Do you old men have anything else to say to me? If not, then this lord will go back to take a nap. Go, how can they agree to let her leave so easily? This little girl is getting more and more powerful. If this continues, she will be difficult to deal with later. The great elder made a signal towards the second elder, and the second elder said. Lord, we still have important things to discuss. He took out an account book and said, My lord, we have too many losses and would probably can't make ends meet. These are the expenses you've used in the past 3 years. What? Give it to this lord. Mu Qian, take a look at the account book. She froze. The previous Mu Qian Shi spent almost half of the Mu Jia's treasury for the past 3 years. Fortunately, her father, Mu Fengyun, left her a lot of money, else she would end up as a beggar instead. She always picked the most expensive foods and clothes. For her meals, she spent 10,000 taels daily. What a riot! Her vulgar hairdo was also expensive, amounting to 200,000 taels. In the modern times, she also saw a lot of spoiled brats, but no one can match the previous her all right. Besides, it's not the most expensive thing squandered. The big one is. I would probably post at this time for the future days. We are so busy in my work that I almost forgot to post this today. Unreasonable and arrogant. The big one is the dowry. Compared to the dowry, Mu Qian Shi's food and clothes is simply a drop in the bucket. In order to marry Xianyuan Li Tian, the previous Mu Qian let out a great sum of dowry to the emperor of the Purple Moon Kingdom. When the emperor saw the list, he immediately decreed for them to marry. An inexhaustible supply of golds and jewelries, 10,000 immortality elixirs, the emperor swallows all of it into the imperial treasury, clearly not afraid to die. Mu Qian's face is gloomy. The emperor of the Purple Moon is obviously selling his son. Now that she returned everything that the emperor swallowed, he will spit it all out. She returned the defective goods. Naturally, the other party has to refund. She's not a cheapskate, but when it comes to these types of people, she really need to get back at them for what they did in order to make Mu Qian more uncomfortable. The elders said the things she spent one after another. Lord, although you are young and not sensible enough, why do 10,000 taels aren't enough for you? You're being extravagant. That's right. The Lord spends thousands of gold every day. We Mujia disciples can't even eat meat. Don't you think the Lord is being excessive? At this rate, our whole clan will fall because of you. When that happened, how can we face the old Lord? Exclamation point. She slaps her hand on the table. These old guys are afraid to continue to place the blame on Mu Qianxi. Mu Qian slowly stood up. The purple dress with silver embroideries outlines her perfect curve. Her eyes are dark like the night. Her every hand movements are confident and at ease. Mu Jia is what my father had left me. I love to spend money, so what? Why do you all care on what I ate and what I wear? Did you guys pay for me? No. The answer is no. Dare to reprimand me. Compared to me, you elders are much more profligate. Second elder, you say I ate a lot of expensive foods. That is because of your granddaughter, who indulges me to buy all of it. Even the dowry given to the emperor is your granddaughter's brilliant idea. Since you're absolutely wrong, let your granddaughter be my scapegoat. After all, if she did not say all of it, then I wouldn't do any of it at all. Now, what do you elders think? This is a wise decision, isn't it? Mu Qian let out a playful smile. The second elder heard Mu Qian's shameless words. He was so angry that even arguing with her almost caused him to vomit blood. These things are your own doing. You wanted to throw the dirty water on Yuner. You've already hurt Yuner ruthlessly before, isn't that already enough? I'm the Lord, but she was given more cultivation resources than me. Now you're asking me if it isn't enough. Clearly you're joking, right? For everything that she had done to me, shouldn't she offer her life? Mu Qian raised an eyebrow. In addition to the dowry, the previous Mu Qian she allotted a huge sum of money to the two sisters for them to buy cultivation resources and elixirs. Without the help of those things, how can Mu Ruyun become a genius? The second elder shouted. You're simply making trouble without reason. Me? Making trouble? Second elder, do not forget, I Mu Qian she is the Mu Jia's lord. She coldly said. She walked away from where she'd stood before and pointed the Lord's position in the hall. If you do not recognize me as the Lord, then step up there to be the Lord of this clan. The elders looked at each other. As long as someone takes a step, I'm afraid the third master won't keep them alive. PFT. Ha ha ha. Mu Qian softly laughed. Since you are all cowards, and do not dare to be the Lord, then please remember this one thing. I Mu Qian she is the Mu Jia's lord, no matter what. Actually, you're all right about one point. No one from the group of you elders deserves the word lord. Without my father and uncle, you're just a bunch of old men. The elders are cursed one by Mu Qian. The ninth elder looked up to the Mu Qian she, his mouth twitched slightly. In the past this little girl is weak and timid, but now this little girl is like an evil tyrant. Vicious but not evil, the way she admonish is really good. The elders have been scolded. Mu Qian she, who was once a timid mouse, now turned to a purple bully, both unreasonable and arrogant. Lord, forgive these servants, we wouldn't dare to pursue on this matters. The great elder bowed and respectfully said. The second elder is confused. What is he doing? How can we deal with this girl if we won't pursue anymore? The great elder then added. But the Lord is still young and our capital is limited. So I think we still must control the expenses of the Lord. Mu Qian smiled mischievously. Control. Don't know how much the elders intend to control. 1,000 silver taels are enough for the Lord to spend. Do you really think that's enough? As long as the Lord won't be extravagant like before, it is absolutely enough. Mu Qian pointed to them and said, You say that the Lord only needs 1,000 silver taels a month, then all of you elders should just spend 10 taels a month. That is fair enough, right? A few elders almost spurted blood. 10 silver taels. What a joke. The great elder quickly said, "My lord, don't be foolish. There are hundreds of people in our family who are young and old. I am the lord but only have 1,000 tails, then, it is just right for the elders to only have 10 silver tails. Although these people have the same surname as her, but that was because her father recruited or bought them as slaves, because of their talents, her father let them take care of the family business. Did not think that more than 10 years have passed, said, they really thought that their surname is Mu, the same with her family, and they will be able to control the Mu Jia freely. The great elder had a headache. Lord, this cannot be counted on. I. His words have not yet finished, but he was interrupted by Mu Qianxi. She said, well, it's true that it's too small to give you 10 taels each per month. Even the Purple Moon Imperial Capital's beggars eat 2 times half a month. So elders, shall we have a bet? She looked at them with a smile. All the elders froze. Bet? What kind of bet? Mu Qian words left them in a daze. Before, Mu Qian is a young chick, whatever she said, they can immediately draw the line, but now, they needed to pay attention on every word coming out from her mouth. Now this Mu Qian, she is like a gust of wind, they are not allowed to touch this gust of wind, else they will never know where she'll take them. The great elder said. What does the Lord mean? Mu Qian proudly said. Bet, of course, the literal meaning. In the past, this Lord is free to spend every amount she wanted each month, but now you're saying that I only need 1,000 silver taels. With it being too little, how can you assure that I will fulfill that at all? 1,000 taels, she can't even afford an entry-level elixir with that amount, she absolutely won't let them succeed. However, I also know that the elders made such a decision for the sake of Mu Jia. The elders froze, the change of her temperament, from arrogant to the defenseless lord, made them curious. So let's make a bet. I bet in 3 days that I'll earn 3 million gold taels. If I cannot do it, then I will only have 1,000 silver taels every month. Mu Qian is filled with smiles as she said this to the elders. Sorry I'm late, too busy with real life so. Yeah, hope you enjoy this chapter. I kinda lost interest translating when the elders are involved, especially the great and second elders. A bunch of ingrates. I want to be a hedonistic daughter of rich parents PFT. 3 million. And also in gold. Even if all of them worked their asses off for a whole 3 months, they still can't reach that kind of amount, let alone 3 days. Mu Qianxi, making such conditions is really crazy. It is way better for her if she directly agreed on their request to cut her allowance. The great elder frowned, he keeps having this feeling that it's not so simple. What if the Lord succeeds? If I do succeed, the elders will only get 10 silver taels per month and I will have the absolute authority of the Mu Jia. Hiss. The crowd took a breath of cold air. Mu Qian not only wanted to use this bet to suppress them, but also wanted to remove their rights. The great elder summed. It isn't fair, if the Lord sells the Mu Jia's properties to earn those 3 million gold taels. Mu Qian looked at him like she saw an idiot and repeated. I already told you, I will earn 3 million gold taels in 3 days. Naturally, I will not use any Mu Jia's properties and will only do it by myself. With this answer, Great Elder, are you satisfied? The Great Elder racked his brain thinking what does Mu Qian she was going to do in order to earn the 3 million. He'd thought about it for a long time. If the Lord is going to exchange the elixir that the old Lord has left behind for money, then forget this deal. Great Elder, do you have amnesia? My father indeed left the immortality elixirs to me, but your precious granddaughters, Mu Ruyan and Mu Ruyun took some of it away. A big part of it has become a dowry that was put in the imperial treasury. I don't have any private goods left. He still isn't satisfied as he added. What if the Lord asked for help to the third master? Rest assured, earning 3 million gold taels is not a problem for this lord. I don't need to trouble my little uncle with small matters like this. Mu Qian said confidently. No one will believe on everything she'd said. Even the nonchalant ninth elder doesn't believe that a single person can put together so much money in such a short period of time. In addition to the third master, Noon in the capital would loan her money, especially with that ridiculous amount. She also had no elixirs left to use. The great elder measured in his heart for a moment, and finally made up his mind. This little girl is getting bolder, but also too arrogant and complacent. She got on her high horse and tried to gamble with them. But in the end she still remained foolish. It seems that he overstated her. It looks like she only has her arrogance when making this bet. The great elder coughed and said. Since the Lord had made her decision, then let's gamble. But in order for the Lord not to back out, let's make a contract. Because of Mu Qian's unforeseen and shameless acts before, the great elder that has always been cautious absolutely won't let her get any upper hand. Mu Qian smiled and just said. Sure. The old man did not mention anything anymore. Mu Qian wrote down the letter under the eyes of everyone and closed the deal with the Mu Jia's seal. The elders also enclosed it with their own seal. If someone refused to acknowledge this bet, it is tantamount to betraying the whole family. The pit has been dug, all she needs to do is wait for the old man to bury himself alive. Mu Qian yawned and said. Since it's all right, then this lord will go back to my quarters to take a nap. Looking at the perfect back walking away, the great elder suddenly felt a turn of events will happen. If the lord loses, she can spend less. But if they lose, not only the money, they will even lose their rights. This bet is not fair at all, but he just thought that it's impossible for the lord to do it, so he decided to ignore it instead. With the great elder's rigorous schemes and deep foresight, he would not believe that he will fall to the pit dug by himself easily. If he himself can't earn 3 million, then it is absolutely impossible for a little girl like Mu Qian. 3 days later, Mu Qian's expenses will not be limited, all the rights regarding the Mu Jia will fall on her. She will finally be the true lord of this clan. As long as the third master remained in the clan, they dared not have the illusion to be the lord. But they were tired of being trampled on by a silly little girl. After a late nap, someone came and reported to Mu Qian. Little master, third master asked you to come. Uncle asked for me. Mu Qian hurriedly walked to Wu Yu courtyard. In the bamboo forest she saw the white figure. She grabbed his hands and looked at him worriedly. Did you take your medicine? Mu Wuxuang shook his head and with a gentle voice he said. With the little overlord commanding, how will this little uncle dare not obey? Ha! At least you know. Mu Qian nodded. Mu Qian approached to the side of Mu Wuxuang and asked, Little uncle must have known what happened today, right? Do you need my help? She only has 3 days to earn the 3 million gold taels. Even his eldest brother or anyone in the purple moon can't do that, is what he thought. I can just throw a few elixirs in the street, and then who knows, maybe I'll get lucky enough to get that amount. Little uncle, I appreciate that you wanted to help me, but I can manage it on Miao. Don't worry. Mu Qian calmly said. Mu Qian praised herself secretly. This is really a good way. Her family's uncle is a true black belly. Maybe, being a black belly runs in the family. The elder thought through all kinds of fluffles and agreed to bet in the end. But he did not think her little uncle has countless ways to break that contract without anyone finding out. I'm sure he will vomit blood. Mu Qian said. Little uncle, since it is me who made this bet, I won't cheat. It seems that Sheer has a solution already. Mu Wuxuang's tone is filled with curiosity. Little uncle, you just need to wait and see. A sly look appeared on Mu Qian's face. The two talked for a while, and then suddenly sighed. Hey, can I ask something? He knit his brow and asked. Sheer, you're young, but how come you're used at making others angry? He had always hoped that Sheer would be happy and free. Mu Qian, who's currently pushing Mu Wushuang's wheelchair to his room, stopped and said, Little uncle, in the capital, there are also people the same age as Medhat is doing this and that. Living their life to the fullest without any care what others may say. I'm one of the Mu family members, right? Why does when it is my turn to be the Lord, the elders are all making me tired from all of their tricks? They also wanted me to clean up their mess. Sheer, do you want to leave? Mu Wushuang interrupted her and asked. I don't want to leave, but I'll make sure to live my days here to the fullest in the future. Eat delicious foods, wear whatever I want to experience the life of being a spoiled child. I will do my utmost to stop them from getting more power, so little uncle, you better get well soon. When you're cured, you better let me live the life of a second generation, okay? Mu Qian brightly smiled. She made up her mind to cure her little uncle quickly for her laid-back days. Mu Wushuang's ice-cold hands were held by Mu Qian's warm hands. That's right. She is her favorite little princess then and now. Mu Wushuang nodded and patted her head. Little uncle will get better soon. I will definitely make your wishes come true as soon as possible. Mu Qian holds Mu Wushuang's hand tighter and said. Yup. Let's do that together. When little uncle is healthy already, you have to cover for me. Mu Qian is extremely glad to have this little uncle. Mu Wushuang looked lifeless at most time. It is as if he has no attachment to the world aside from her. This is her guardian, her only relative for now. She really wants him to live well. One day had already passed, but Mu Qian still did not go out. What is she doing? The great elder asked while frowning. Oh. Every Mu Wushuang scene heals my heart. Borrow your enchanting look for me to use. The Lord has been at home all day. She just eats and sleeps. It appears that she didn't do anything. What is she trying to do? Our deal was only 3 days, and she'd already wasted one. The great elder couldn't keep up with Mu Qian. He had no idea on what she will try sell. Don't say that the elders was the only one who doesn't know. Even Mu Qian's contractor, Ting, also do not know what she's going to do. Hey! Ugly woman, you only have 3 days to earn that 3 million. Say, how are you going to earn that amount? Mu Qian rolled her eyes and said. You only know how to sleep, you can't even guess that simple thing. I'm so afraid that you'll be able to pull down my intelligence by signing a contract with you. Ting gnashed his teeth and angrily said. Mu Qian she. You dare to say I'm stupid, I will tear you up. You don't have a body, yet you want to tear me up. Haha, dream on. When my strength is enough to gain my physical body, I promise to make you look real good. I fear that you will not have the ability. The two continued to bicker, until he can't help but ask again. Just tell me, what are you going to do? What is the talent of this lord? Don't say you don't know, else you're blind. You can make poisons, but that won't do, you can't sell those for 3 million gold taels. You're joking with me. Don't tell me, you're just waiting for the time when your expenses are cut and then have nothing good to eat. Besides being good at poisons, I'm good at other things too, so just keep your eyes peeled and watch. After that, Mu Qian went out and turned to the refining room. Ling Zilin saw Mu Qian then froze. Lord, what are you doing here? She laughed. My hand itches, go and prepare. Also fetch me some things. Don't forget the herbs. Ling Zilin clearly looked as if he had worked here for years. He's so familiar inside that in just a short time, and he already completed all the things she needed. Lord, we're all set. Good. Start the fire. Yes. In the next moment, Ling Zilin saw a miracle happened. The Lord is refining elixirs. However, the way she refined is completely different with other alchemists. The technique is more brilliant, like a gorgeous show in general. When she was about to add the dew water, Ting's voice suddenly came and said, "You can use your spiritual water for refining immortality elixirs. The level of things you've been refining is low level, and the same with the dew water you wanted to use." Even though Ting's mouth is filled with poison, but his every reminder is very effective. While Mu Qian is refining, she awakened the power of the eternal ring, Water God Dragon Ring. In a moment a water dragon goes into the furnace together with other refining ingredients. How beautiful! Ling Zilin looked at the blue water dragon. It appears that the Lord is a water alchemist. In this world, there are 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Few alchemists have the elements that complements on their refining method. Having an innate element means more advantage for the alchemist, and will help them in the long way. Success. The last step is completed. Mu Qian's mouth evoked a smile. She checked the finished product and discovered that with the spiritual water, the elixir had increased its effectiveness. After putting it into a bottle, Mu Qian proceeded on making another one. She lasted until midnight on creating the last batch of elixirs. Mu Qian put 3 bottles of elixirs on the table and said to Ling Zilin, "These 3 bottles of elixirs are for you to use, please help yourself tonight." "Lord, this is what I should do. These elixirs are not for someone like me to use. Lord, please, take it all back." Even though the Lord is just acknowledging his help and elixirs are only second compared to medicinal pills. But he saw the way she refined it, he can feel the powerful energy coming from the elixirs she refined are absolutely extraordinary. Mu Qian insisted. "I still have a lot here, remember to take half a bottle then cultivate every day, I assure you, there will be unexpected results. Also, the things that this Lord already gave, I won't take it back." Mu Qian said in a stern way, so that he could not refuse. The purple figure flashed as she disappeared in front of Ling Zilin. Mu Qian seems to forget about the bet in general, because she is still asleep in the middle of the day. All the elders thought that Mu Qian proposed the bet just to disguise her unwillingness. It was only because she couldn't afford to lose her face in front of them. Mu Qian at this time stretches her stiff muscles. After cultivating last night, she finally broke through the 4th stage spirit warrior. But it's not enough. Still too weak. The distance between the standard strength that little uncle said is still far from reach. There are literally thousands and thousands of miles away. Mu Qian got up to the mirror, ready to add a little something to her face. She hasn't even started yet, but she heard Ting shout. "Stupid. You're really stupid. You think that it's easy, huh? Even if you change the way you look, someone can still say it was you. To do this secretly, your approach would not work." She is still very satisfied with her own means of disguise, but Ting ignored all the things she tried to say. This is not the modern world, but a different world of spiritual training and martial arts. It is inevitable that this certain person isn't aware of her disguise. For this magical world, Ting understands it more. She laughed. "Master Ting, I don't know, so can you tell me what you think?" "I know you can't do anything without me." Ting held his head high. She indulges his ego for a bit and added. "Master Ting, since you know a lot of information, you must give me an advice before it's too late. You and I have a contract. I can make you look like me without any flaws. As long as you don't do anything that is too feminine to embarrass me. Become like you." In regard on using that fairy face, Mu Qian is very satisfied. But, isn't that too ostentatious? What? You don't like what I look like? A ceasefire was made. Yes, a little. Then go with your face. See if that plan is good, then let all the people in the mood yaw that it was you who refined these elixirs. You are waiting to be a target. Her good mood before is clearly destroyed. She didn't think about it through. With Ah Ting's warning, she remembered that it is not good to expose herself early, especially without having a lot of power. When someone stronger appears, it will definitely lead to a disaster. Mu Qian decided to go with Ah Ting's plan. She coaxed him and said, "It's not that I dislike your appearance. I just think that you look so enchanting. I'm afraid that with me going out, I'll put pressure on your face. And at least you know, don't worry, you're still my contractor. I'll give you a hand. Even if you embarrass me, I will forgive you." Mu Qian's mouth is twitching. This kid surely has a weird habit. Most of the time, he boasts about himself, clearly not caring if the other person is listening or not. Connect with my mind. I will let you have my appearance. Good. A pale green light wrapped Mu Qian. A little while later, the appearance of Mu Qian changed dramatically. Looking at herself in the mirror, Mu Qian secretly said in her heart, "This is simply the devil." Long gray-green hair slides down from the shoulders like a fine silk. Eyebrows as if painted with ink, cherry-red lips, skin as white as snow and eyelashes flashing like a butterfly's wings. His clear eyes are a stunning light of green, imperceptible soul, like he can see through the past and present life. The whole person looked like a pure and innocent soul cannot be desecrated. At the thought of Ah Ting's character, when she looked at this appearance, Mu Qian's mouth can't help but quiver. This appearance is simply deceiving the dead to pay for his life. Her face changed. Naturally, she also wanted to examine the body. Incredible elixir. Fortunately, although her appearance became Ah Ting, she did not become a man. She can tolerate a flat chest, but it's unbearable. Ah Ting's mouth twitched. Stupid woman, what are you thinking? If I didn't change the appearance of it, how can you become a man? Mu Qian changed into a ready-made men's clothing, then searched out a cape to cover her head. She covered it firmly. But Ah Ting stopped her. Finally, this number one, most handsome man's face can go to the outside world. Yet, you're still secretive. Mu Qian's mouth twitched. The world's most handsome man, you are so narcissistic. She smiled and said seriously. Are you even sure that the first is you? The dangerous man at most will rank second, the first is definitely me. Oh. I think my uncle is better than you. You are prejudiced. In the end, regardless of how Ah Ting protests, Mu Qian still strictly covered her head. Although this is a spiritual world, there's a strange hair and iris color, although not much. But there are people who had this, such as Xianyuanjiu Ye's icy blue eyes. But Ah Ting's appearance is not like any human. If she goes out looking like him, it will definitely cause chaos that can reach ears of the Purple Moon's emperor, so she chose to keep a low profile. The number one auction house, most people know it as the Snow Continent's number one chamber of commerce, in their territory. It is also the first auction house of the Purple Moon Kingdom. A weird person covered in cape strictly entered the auction house. Being the first auction house in the Purple Moon Kingdom, what weirdo does the workers here hadn't seen already? When she entered, a person came up and asked, "What can I do for you?" Mu Qian said, "I'm here to sell something." Two souls connected, lets Mu Qian's appearance to look like Ah Ting, but the voice was disguised by Mu Qian herself. That kind of deep as a violin-like voice was a pleasure to one's ears. The young man was slumped like in a drunken stupor said, "Guest, please go inside." At the first auction house, a middle-aged man about 45 years old who has a square-shaped face sat in the room filled with different gems and treasure. The middle-aged man looks ordinary, but his eyes are sharp. He asked, looking at the adorable Mu Qian. I don't know what this gentleman is about to sell. Mu Qian took out her hand and take an elixir from the spatial ring in her finger, she said. I want to sell this elixir. I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. We do not collect elixirs at this auction, the minimum is a high-grade medicinal pill. Elixirs, the kind with all sorts of herbs mixed together without any technical content whatsoever. It isn't profitable at all. Mu Qian didn't care at what he's trying to say, she simply asked. If I say that this elixir is equivalent to second-grade medicinal pills, will you still refuse? This elixir is indeed enough to crush a second-grade medicinal pill. But this is clearly an elixir. How can it be? This elixir was able to contain the medicinal properties to reach this point, and each kind of medicinal herbs used has played perfect roles. He was shocked. Curious. His old face became more and more excited, as if discovering a new world. Master Yun also stares at his eyes. What the boy said, is it really true? Master Bai studied it for another half hour, and then said, Boy, I apologize for my ignorance. To have a great master to make this kind of elixir really puts my knowledge to a tip of an iceberg. Master Yun is frightened. Who is Master Bai? He's an intermediate alchemist. He was very proud to be an alchemist, even if it is the Purple Moon Emperor's royal brother. He needs to be polite with him, but Master Bai apologized to a boy of unknown origin. Mu Qian smiled and asked, Old man, can I put this elixir at your auction house? Of course. It's equivalent to a second-grade medicinal pill. We will be able to sell this in the auction in a high price. Master Yun excitedly said. Everyone knows that every year in the Purple Moon Kingdom, only 10 pieces of immortality pills were auctioned. Even the Danjizong can only refine 2 pills at most. But the voice of Master Yun became smaller and smaller. Forgive my bad eyesight and experience, if one does not know what it does, how can we sell it? Mu Qian straightforwardly said. This elixir can speed up one's cultivation 3 times to 5 times. This. How is that possible? Even if it is a third-grade medicinal pill, it can only increase the speed of cultivation twice. That's only natural. This will only work for people who have not yet reached Spirit Master, and it basically has no effect for a person who is already a Spirit Master. Even if it has a limit in level, this effect is scary enough. If this elixir really has this effect, it will definitely cause a sensation in the capital. The 10 major clans will go wild just to buy it for their clan's young cultivators. Mu Qian persuaded. If you do not believe it, you can find a spirit warrior to try. Good. Master Yun believed in this elixir's magic. He was excited to witness a miracle happen. This is what Ting supposed to look like. Just imagine his hair to gray-green instead of blonde and has normal ear unlike in the picture. Before we start, I'd made a change in Mu Wushuang's strength. It seems that he's in the peak of Martial King. I still get confused on the strength and ranks due to the same words in Chinese. So yeah, I hope you guys forgive me. Crying face, he's the #1 strongest in the Purple Moon Kingdom, but due to his legs and eyes, that strength isn't at its best. Now back to the story. Is it just coincidence or not? Soon a person from the auction house with the strength of a 9th stage spirit warrior was invited to come. Master Yun said, drink this. Master Yun's position in the Snow's Chamber of Commerce is very high. The guard without saying anything took the elixir and drank it down. Mu Qian then added. Try to work on your spiritual training. When the guard tried to feel his qi in his dantian, he was all startled. What's happening? Why do I feel that my speed in absorbing qi is rising to 3 or 4 times than normal? Am I being possessed? OGOD. I've been stuck on my bottleneck for almost 5 years. I want to qualify as a spirit master since then. I was ready to give up but have never thought that in this life there is still a chance to break through. The guard almost cried with emotion. Master Yun and Master Bai turned to Mu Qian's direction, both with a look of horror in their faces. Master Yun waved, "You can go back, continue your cultivation, put a lot of effort." Master Bai said, "Son, for that bottle of elixir, we'll pay you 300,000 gold taels." But Mu Qian insisted. "No need, that bottle of elixir, consider it as a token for starting my business with your auction house. I still got 10 bottles of elixirs here. You can auction these instead." Master Bai took a breath of cold air. 10 bottles. Mu Qian dropped 2 more bombs and said, "I also have spirit blood elixir here. This elixir can stop any bleeding in an instant, and make the wounds recover for half an hour. Lastly, the Spirit Master Breakthrough Elixir. This elixir will successfully bypass the bottleneck to be a Spirit Master by 100%. Looking at the 3 kinds of elixirs placed in front of them, a total of 30 bottles, Master Yun and Master Bai felt numb. Master Bai couldn't believe himself, so he asked, "Are you sure you want to give these precious elixirs to us for auction?" Mu Qian nodded. "Are there instructions which I still didn't know of?" Master Bai asked again. He knew that these elixirs will make a great change in refining medicines. And this son of ability absolutely won't like to be the center of attention with the way he hide his features. "I will have to trouble you to auction these elixirs for tomorrow, and then if you can find an alchemist that has this elixir and herbs, inform me. Just sell it to me at a market price." Mu Qian took out a list. Master Bai looked at the list of medicines. Some of the elixir is extremely valuable, while others are names he had not even heard of. Also, the state of medicine in the Purple Moon isn't advanced yet. I believe someone will doubt the elixirs, so you have to prepare a person to test it out. The Master Bai nodded. "I know." Master Bai took out a purple jade tablet. "Son, this is our tablet for honored guest. You will need this in order to attend to the auction tomorrow. With this, you can also enjoy having our best auction box." Mu Qian replied. "In that case, I'll take it." Mu Qian took the jade tablet and left the auction house, leaving 2 old guys who are still in a daze. Upon going out, Mu Qian suddenly felt a dangerous air. An ink-colored figure appeared in her sight, a cold Ashura man. Even in broad daylight his dark breath can cover up all the light. Mu Qian wanted to speak but decided to keep it herself instead. This person, did he really thought that with a mask during the day, no one will recognize him? At this time, a cold gaze came as if to see her through. Housekeeper Bai asked. "Master, what's the matter?" Housekeeper Bai looked at where Jiu Yi is looking, then froze. With his strength, he could still see Mu Qian's face under her cloak. He already thought that his master was beautiful but didn't think there was a boy in this world that wasn't much worse than his master. And the boy's eyes turned out to be light green, a colored iris like his master. Mu Qian acted like a stranger that didn't saw them. She directly walked past them. But she always felt a glance fell on her back. For a long time it hasn't disappeared. She won't be recognized is what she believed. She looks like this now. Even her little uncle won't recognize who she was either, right? Housekeeper Bai can feel the breath of the master is a little dangerous. He dare not make a sound. He can tell the master seems to look at the boy furiously. The boy is enchanting and very strange, but seeing a person isn't enough to cause the master this angry. Go! Xianyuan Jiu Yi, like a ghost, moved upstairs. At the treasure room, Master Yun couldn't react. He looked at the elixirs in the table and pinches himself over and over to see if he's not dreaming. Master Bai, didn't you say that the next auction will be in 7 days later? is it really possible to start tomorrow? Master Yin asked. Who says we can't? But there are treasures that are still on the road, there are things that aren't prepared yet, so how can we start the auction? Master Bai glanced at the elixirs and proudly said. These elixirs are already enough, even without those treasures, this auction can afford to start. Don't worry, I'll talk to the Lord. But he learned that the young master is meeting some important guests. Master Bai can only wait. After the guests leave, the Lord of the Snow's Chamber of Commerce summoned Master Bai. His opening was, the auction will be held early this evening. Ha! Master, what's going on? Master Bai was confused. Someone came to me for an auction with something incredible, and asked me to hold the auction ahead of time. Master Bai said. Lord, what a coincidence. Actually, I also have. He told the master about the elixirs. There's no such thing as coincidence, I think that they are somehow connected to each other. The number 1 auction house suddenly opened ahead of time. On that evening, the capital's major clans and royal family was totally unprepared. And from the news, they will also auction some things that are unacceptable. The Mujia's elders also prepared themselves to go to the auction. With fear that Mu Qian will join them and spend lavishly there, they did not tell her the news. After all, there are many times that their lord partook. Aided in the auction before. No matter what they come up with, there is no use, she always call the price. Coupled with the 2 daughters of the Ouyang Jia deliberately acting up against their lord. The price ends up with a huge amount, and the Mu Jia will be the only one who will suffer such heavy losses. Mu Qian, who got the message from the auction house, was surprised. Tonight? It's too early. She remembered the important part and said. I can't wait to collect my money. The sooner you get the money, the better. When the auction is about to begin, Mu Qian once again became Ting. She quietly left home. Mu Qian just entered the auction, she heard someone talking, Miss, that woman, Mu Qian, she did not come to the auction this time. What kind of lord is she? She doesn't even have the qualifications to partake. Aid in this auction, ha ha ha. Good luck to that fool, if she dared to come this time, I'll make sure she bleeds. A savage voice came. In a moment, the doorman found Mu Qian Shi and politely said. Guest. You have come. Please come inside. Mu Qian glanced at Ouyang Wei and smirked. Bleed. Let's see who will bleed this time. Hey guys. I'm back. Remembered Ouyang Wei in the first chapter? She's the one who killed the previous Mu Qian Shi. I will enjoy every revenge that the current Mu Qian will give to her. She deserves all of it. Hot medicine auction. Miss, it's my first time to see the Snow's auction people be so polite to others. Even if the prince came, they would not act like that. Who the hell is that? Ouyang Wei frowned. He should be one of the auction's honored guests. It was just a casual glance that gave her a very bad feeling. The Snow's auction house in the Purple Moon Kingdom is divided into 6 floors. The 6th floor is the office area, while the remaining 5 floors are the guests area. At this time, the servant with Mu Qian had lead her on one of the special box in the 5th floor. In the 5th floor of another box, another servant ushered in a guest. 2 special box lights lit up at the same time. It caused uproar for the people below. What's going on? Aren't these 2 boxes always deserted? Yes, that's why it's so strange. In the Purple Moon Kingdom, I am afraid that only 3 people are eligible for this level of box that had been lighted up. The first is the Purple Emperor, the second is the 3rd Master Mu Wushuang, and the last one is Unfathomable Night Prince. The Emperor did not come. Mu Jia's 3rd Master has limited mobility and has never partook. aided in these auctions. For a moment they felt their backs were cold, but even if the Night Prince came, who was the other one in there? Just when people are trying to crack their heads and could not think of another guest. The auction has already started. A woman dressed in a fiery red dress appeared on the auction floor, and the XY figure was distracting most people. With just the woman's look, a bunch of souls was captivated. She is the chief alchemist of the Snow's auction house in the Purple Moon, Kai Xian. In Ouyang Wei's side, a servant girl shouted, "The disgraced vixen." Kai Xian just laughed and said in a clear voice, "Surely everyone is wondering why our auction was held in advance. That's because we got a lot of wonderful things to auction, and we can't wait to share all of it with you." Paw paw paw. The woman clapped with the palms of her hand in rhythm, then another woman in white holding a bottle was sent in the stage. Medicine bottle. Someone exclaimed, "Are you going to auction off a second-grade medicine pellet today?" Must be second grade, otherwise, how can the Snow's auction house change the auction time? Great! A second-grade medicine pellet has not appeared in half a year already, did not expect to see it today. Everyone was excited. Every time second-grade medicine pellets appear in the Purple Moon Kingdom, it always causes the parties to compete for power. Who made the alchemists scarce in this world? And even second-grade medicine pellets rarer. Kai Xian laughed at their remarks and corrected them. "I think the guests are mistaken, the inside of this medicine bottle isn't second-grade medicine pellets, but elixir." What? Elixir? What the hell? How could it be an elixir? Yes. That cannot be true, even first-grade medicine pellets aren't accepted here, so how come an elixir has the qualifications to be auctioned here? Miss Kai Xian, are you sure this hell place isn't messing with us? All the people are staring at her, and absolute confidence was found at Kai Xian's face. Kai Xian's red lips moved seductively and said, "With the reputation of being the #1 auction house, we don't have the time to mess with everybody here. The reason why this elixir is auctioned off is because this elixir is equivalent to a second-grade medicine pellet and the effect is much better than a second grade." Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How can elixirs beat a medicine pellet? That's right. The emergence of this elixir. The impact of their cognition. The way they react, the look in their eyes. Mu Qian shook her head, it was too cold. It's not that she can't make pills but because she can only refine a first-grade medicine pellets for now. Refining a first-grade can't sell for much. Obviously it will be impossible for her to reach 3 million gold taels with only that. So she can only use her modern way of making medicine to make elixirs, because there are some effects of modern medicine that are equivalent to this world's second grade. If she put together enough, she can earn the 3 million gold taels easily. Elixirs and pellets have their own strength. She is a genius regarding the uses of medicines and herbs, but she also intends to learn some more through alchemy. Kai Xian heard them but still introduced the elixir to everyone. "I know it's hard to believe, but inside this vial is called a spirit blood elixir. As long as it is not a fatal injury, when taken immediately the bleeding will stop, for about half an hour the wound will also recover. This will surely save your life." This time someone said, "This is not possible. How could it have such an effect? Even a third-grade medicine pellet needs an hour to restore. Stop the bleeding immediately, this is too mysterious." Kai Xian smirked. "I know you don't believe it, so we're going to do an experiment in public, here in the auction house. What do you say?" She then said, "Please come over." A big man was invited to come up. His body has been torn by some kind of beast, and a ma's sieve scar was seen, even the blood is still flowing. This is what Mu Qian commanded. In order to make these people believe the efficacy of the drug, you must find a wounded person to try. Kai Xian explained. "This is our auction's field expatriation personnel. He just entered the heavenly forest and had encountered a high-ranked beast. He came back seriously injured. Now we'll let him take this elixir and you will all see the effect. The man took the medicine. Immediately after the blood really stopped flowing. Everything that happened was so strange. Too powerful, although half an hour has not yet arrived, but everyone completely believed the efficacy of the elixir. As the first auction house in the Purple Moon and Snow's continent, first chamber of commerce that belongs to a large force, they will not risk their own reputation just to play with them. This magic elixir had piqued everyone's interest. A pract. Tionir, who is inevitably injured, with just this rapid spirit blood elixir will undoubtedly be a life-saving medicine for him. Someone who can't wait already, shouted. Miss Kai Xian, hurry up and start the auction. OGOD. He just used a bottle, it's not over. There was trepidation. After all, they only auction 2 second-grade medicine pellets every time. The auctioneer laughed. You do not have to worry about that, although we have spent a bottle, but with the remaining 9 bottles you still have the opportunity. The spirit blood elixir's starting price is 100,000 gold taels, you can increase the price. The auctioneer's words just came down, someone had already added. 200,000. 201,000. 202. 300. This medicine, no matter if it is expensive or not, they must have it. These people will not be stingy at all. The price is constantly rising, but the people on the 4th floor have not yet called the price, and finally there was a clear voice that landed. 500,000. Hiss! The crowd took a breath of cold air. It was the voice of His Highness, the Crown Prince. I didn't think that the Crown Prince is interested in this medicine. The Purple Moon's Crown Prince, Xianyuan Li Shang, is Xianyuan Li Tian's eldest brother from the side of the Emperor. He is the #1 genius of the Purple Moon. In a young age, not only he is at the 9th-stage spirit warrior but also has the wind element spirit. When the prince shouted the price, no one took the risk of offending the prince. This time the Crown Prince's eyes fell on the 5th floor of the first box. His eyes looked dark and gloomy. Master, this elixir that is the equivalent to a second-grade medicine pellet is very strange. I have not heard of it before. Housekeeper Bike stood behind Zhou Yi and whispered. Another prince appeared. Is he a friend or a foe? Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z. How can I bully you? Housekeeper Bai's words just fell. He heard his master said, increase. This medicine is too strange. The master was interested, and Housekeeper Bai was excited. The results, Xianyuan Zhou Yi added. Buy it. Let the price increase. He won't let him get what he want anyway. This is obviously a hole in the pit for the Crown Prince. The role of the Crown Prince, although he often provokes his master, but his master did not put the Crown Prince in his eyes at all. How come now? The Crown Prince caught master's interest. But no matter what, he must carry out the order, Housekeeper Bai said. 700,000 gold taels. There was a chill in the air. Xianyuan Li Shang thought, right, it is him. Although he's positive that he can't afford to confront him, but seeing that he don't give any damn about him being the Crown Prince, he can feel his hatred towards him getting piled up. So Xianyuan Li Shang increased the price, 800,000. Mu Qian was slightly distracted. It was the royal family who swallowed a lot of her money. Knowing it was Xianyuan Li Shang the Crown Prince, she was ready to increase the price to dig a pit for him, but did not think that someone will start instead. And that voice isn't that Housekeeper Bai. Zhou Yi is just at the next door. 900,000. Housekeeper Bai continued. 1,000,000. The Crown Prince shouted. He then looked to the top, slowly said. This is my highest price. If 9th brother really wants it, you can continue to increase its price. Hiss. It is really the Night Prince. Oh my D. The night prince came. They murmured, almost everyone was pale and silent. Housekeeper Bai laughed. The crown prince is worried too much, it's just this old man was bored so I decided to play, our master isn't interested in this elixir, your highness is such a tall man so we'll leave it to you then. The crown prince's face was clouded, his fists clenched and his joints creaked. Xianyuan Jiu Yi. Too hateful. Even his servant was so arrogant. Mu Qian finally understood why Xianyuan Li Tian was so afraid of Housekeeper Bai. Even with the crown prince, Housekeeper Bai does not put him in his eyes, and he even dared to play. Next is the start of the auction for the second bottle, after all aspects of the compet. Tie-in, final price was 600,000. No more than the price of the crown prince. Third bottle, fourth bottle, fifth bottle. The compet. Tie-in continued, it was a hot sale. The first batch of elixirs was half sold but Mu Qian already earned the 3 million gold taels. The red-faced elders that also bids on the elixirs had no idea that the bet that they've made with Mu Qian was already lost at this moment. The last bottle of elixir, bidding starts. Kai Xian said. 600,000 gold taels. A crisp voice came, the voice from the fourth floor, the Ouyang family box. Mu Qian brought an evil smile that betrays all innocence. Ouyang Wei, you've finally taken your shot. The Ouyang family is the emperor's parents-in-law, a Virginia S. Sal State in Zhang residence. One of the most prominent clan in the Purple Moon Kingdom, 3 generations had passed, said, but they're still the most known clan that one cannot mess with aside from the royal family. The Ouyang's eldest daughter said her price. Naturally no one dares to compete with her, but Mu Qian was amused and thought, so what? At this time, a low elegant voice came on the 5th floor. 601,000. Everyone was in an uproar, the other one on the 5th floor had finally shot. Sounds like a very young man, he dared to go against the Ouyang family's diabolical miss, he is really bold. Ouyang Wei bit her teeth. 700,000. 701,000. 800,000. 801,000. Ouyang Wei is going to explode each time the other just add 1,000, as if he really was just against her. Ouyang Wei's eyes are red and angrily said. You're ident. Tai is good but don't bully a little girl like me. Bully? Who? Mu Qian replied. Miss Ouyang, if you don't have money then don't increase the price. D.A.M.N. Who said this miss has no money? All this time, Ouyang Wei remembered that she already had killed an idiot named Mu Qian, she who always flaunt her wealth but was a fool for spending too much of her money with her obvious taunts. Now some people from who knows where, dare to say that she has no money. Ouyang Wei isn't satisfied, and she wanted to slap him until his face gets swollen as a pig. 1 million, her bottom line is the same as the crown prince. Someone said. Did not think that Miss Ouyang has a lot of money too. 1,001,000 gold taels. 1,100,000 taels. 1,101,000 taels. 2 million. Ouyang Wei was red all over from shouting too much. When she recovered, she felt a shiver in her spine. Fuck. 2 million gold taels. Even a third-grade medicine pellet is not worth that price. Mu Qian calmly said. Since Miss Ouyang is so persistent in this elixir then this humble one will let you have it. The last spirit blood elixir was sold for 2 million gold taels. Miss Ouyang is also a fierce woman, her bid is twice higher than the crown prince was. The next batch is spirit speed elixir, one can have the practice speed for 3 times to 4 times, absolutely crazy. If this was given to any one of their family, there will be a genius. Ouyang Wei's fists were tightly held, her fingers are buckled into her flesh. It's more useful for her, but the one she bought cost 2 million, she has no money left. She can only watch the elixir fall into the hands of others. The Crown Prince is also depressed. As long as he bids, Night Palace's housekeeper will raise the price. Even if he were the last to buy the medicine, the price will be 2 times more than others. Xianyuan Jiuyi did not bother to hide his motives at all. The Crown Prince even thought that Jiuyi couldn't fight him fair and square. The Crown Prince's throne is only for him, it will never be his. He cannot be beaten by Xianyuan Jiuyi. Xianyuan Li Shang said in his heart as he grips his fists tightly. The exciting elixir auction was over, and half an hour had passed, said. The man before was invited out again, now full of energy like an ordinary person. It's hard to imagine that half an hour before, he was fatally injured. Kai Xian smiled brightly and said. Following this auction, the next items are Heaven Peace Stem GRA. S. Tianyuan Sky GRA. S. Highest Grade Phoenix Blossom, Bodhi Lotus. Kai Xian has reported a large list, all the people that listened are stunned. 2nd grade Immortality Elixirs, 3rd grade Immortality Elixirs, 4th grade Immortality Elixirs, there are also some unheard of elixirs. Is the Snows auction crazy? So many precious elixirs are put up for auction. This, separate auction or? The people are somewhat inarticulate. Kai Xian said. No sir, I reported all these elixirs because this is a combination of auctions, the starting price is 1 million. Mu Qian also felt that the pattern this woman has was crazy. She took out so many precious elixir to auction, but the result is like buying cabbage-like batches of auction. It's too weird, but she feels so good. There are a lot of elixirs that she wants, it's all in one piece. As for the money, this time the auctioned elixirs earned her enough money. Even if she didn't have the money from the elixirs, she is still the Mujia's lord. Whether if it is the Crown Prince or Miss Ouyang, her family's wealth can completely crush any of them. Mu Qian, she said. 10 million, this is my limit. SSS. The crowd took a breath of cold air. He added tenfold right at the start. 10 million. No one in the room could afford the price. Since no one can afford to shout, of course the deal is done. Then this batch of herbs and elixirs will go the gentleman in the 5th floor. Mu Qian is very happy, her eyes shine at those elixir. She was once a ghost doctor, she loved mixing excellent medicinal products the most. In the next box, Xianyuan Jiuye's perfect mouth brought a touch of subtle curvature. Kai Xian continued. Next, we're auctioning. I know you guys already guessed who's the other person who auctioned things aside from MQX. So sweet but kinda weird if you think about it, ha ha ha. They all suspected that the treasures came from this kid, and his true purpose out here is to deliberately distract them, otherwise who would be stupid to do such a loss of business like this. Kai Xian still asked. Are there any increase in price? What price increase? It's already at 10 million ah. Even if they wanted to increase its price, they don't have the money to pay for it. Then these works will all belong to the gentleman in the 5th floor. Kai Xian closed the deal. She added. The last auctions for today are the 2 3rd-grade medicine pellets, starting price is 1 million. 2 pills, 3rd-grade medicine pellet, no one in the Purple Moon Kingdom even owned one, but someone had decided to auction it both. That's crazy. Even Mu Qian froze, this is simply all that she wanted, and someone has sent it all. She decided to increase her vigilance, this kind of luck is unbelievable. She wanted to learn more about alchemy at the same time, she doesn't want to worry about strong parties to know any of it. Her family does not lack money, but because they're not a local in this country. There's not enough power that money can provide alone, so she tried to find things that can help her achieve her goals slowly. but did not expect that in this auction, all of her planned necessities were dropped like a gift from God. 10 million. This gentleman will take it all. Mu Qian's arrogance remains. A sound of drum was heard. In the eyes of everyone at the auction house, Kai Xian announced the ownership of the 2 third-grade medicine pellets. Finally, this thrilling auction finally ended. When they heard the sound that indicates that the auction has ended, the people who joined felt like all that have happened inside was just a dream. They're all the members of the major families in the capital of Purple Moon Kingdom, but this is the first time they've seen an auction like this. Unfortunately, they also did not get much benefit. And this auction's biggest harvest goes to Mu Qianxi. Knock, knock, knock. Come in. Kai Xian was ready to receive the person who would claim his winnings and said with a smile. Gentlemen, this is the storage ring that has all of your items. The rest of the money is in this family gold card. Mu Qian was surprised. Ha! There is still money left. Kai Xian said. Our auction house wants to continue working with you, so this time, we didn't charge any fees on your items. There are over 30 million gold taels left in your gold card. Mu Qian was shocked and immediately said. Aren't you mistaken? I remember that all of my elixirs were only sold for a total of 30 million gold taels. I just spent over 40 million gold in the auction, so how can it still be so much? Kai Xian laughed and said. Gentlemen, we are not asking for gold, but silver. So it isn't that much. What? How is that possible? I only said that it is 1 million, I did not say that all of them were in gold, so I think all the guests are mistaken. Kai Xian looked innocent as she said this. If the guests at today's auction heard this, they will die of blood loss for sure. Also, if they had known it was just 1 million silver taels, they would have competed no matter what. They don't have 10 million gold, but silver does. Mu Qian thought that she had just won a lottery. All the people that bid for the elixirs are in gold, so for these treasures they summed that it is also in gold. Even she was misled, but so many precious things were sold at 10 million silver taels each, there is no mistake. She asked just to be sure. Miss Kai Xian, are you really sure? This is definitely a total loss for your business, isn't it? Kai Xian smiled and said. This is the order of the master who sent the auctioned items, our job is to auction only. Since the gentleman paid all of it with money, these things are yours. Just think of it as simple as buying something, you don't need to worry so much. Mu Qian was satisfied and said. Miss Kai Xian is right, since I have paid it with my money, these things are mine. She nodded and said. I also want you to do something for me. I don't know what else the gentleman wants to request. Kai Xian asked. The auction house will convert the 3 million gold taels on my card into gold. Kai Xian looked surprised at Mu Qian's request. Gold isn't easy to carry, the general gold card is more convenient. Mu Qian saw the confusion in her eyes and said. Because I'm going to hit people with gold, I'll have to trouble Miss Kai Xian. Take 3 million gold to hit people, even a high priest may be buried alive. For a person to use gold to smash people, I'm afraid this gentleman is the only one who can do it. Kai Xian laughed, you are really an interesting person. I'll immediately inform a person to exchange it. Kai Xian left in a hurry. In a while, Master Bai went down to see Mu Qian and said. Son, our young lord invited you over, would you please come with me? Young lord. Wouldn't it be Snow's Chamber of Commerce's lord then? Mu Qian nodded. Good. In the 6th floor of the first auction house, the layout is very stylish, low-key luxury to the extreme. Master Bai opened the door and Mu Qian saw a man sitting inside. Wearing a white mandarin collar long robe, a jade headwear binding his hair with his posture that are both graceful and then, oh, blee. He has a pair of foxy eyes, his shallow smile doesn't look like a smile at all. Nalan Yu did not make a sound, so Mu Qian decided to speak first. I wanted to thank the auction's lord for granting my requests in the auction today. The little fox is here. You're gonna love him for sure. To take liberties with the young Lord Nalan Yu smiled and replied. Gentleman was able to have a huge harvest not because of us, but because of your powerful financial resources. Nalan Yu is an impeccable businessman, the smile on the face seems to be a fixed pattern in general. Mu Qian doesn't beat around the bush. Lord Nalan, is there something you want me to do? Can't it be that I just want to make friends with you? Make friends with a fox like you, are you sure you won't sell me? Mu Qian looked at his eyes with an eyebrow raised up. In Nalan Yu's smiling face a slight stiff was seen, he coughed and said. You're joking, right? He smiled and said. I'm always good to my friends. That may be true, but what do you most value in your friends? She crossed her arms and said sincerely. One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood. I'm not interested becoming friends with someone who only knows how to give a fake smile. I know I couldn't bear the sight of that horrible person every day. The beautiful ice block's face instantly flashed through her mind, Master Bai who stood by is terrified. The sun is too direct. Nalan Yu's face can't continue to keep his smiling face any longer. His body exudes a dangerous air. Is he trying to scare her? No way. Mu Qian's ready at any moment, she's just waiting for Nalan Yu to start. Boom. The two of them have already crossed swords, Nalan Yu said. Only in the 4th stage spirit order but dares to be arrogant. Clash. Mu Qian took a few steps back and rubbed her numb arms. What if I'm only in the 4th stage spirit order? Nalan Yu, you still lost. Suddenly Master Bai's face changed radically. Little Lord. Nalan Yu felt a cramp in his abdomen. A large drop of sweat fell on his forehead. Mu Qian walked slowly in front of him and said. Don't you know that I'm here to sell potions? You even let yourself be close to me, isn't that only asking for abuse? You. The smile in Nalan Yu's eyes disappeared, and at this time he only wanted to tear this man up. Mu Qian held out her hands and rubbed his face. You're so handsome, but your smile is so ugly. What a waste of a good-looking face. She shakes her head, smiled and said, TSK. TSK. Why don't I poison you and turn you into a doll instead? Don't you even try. Nalan Yu suddenly waved his hand, the terrifying air flew out Mu Qian's cloak, and she hastily retreated. In that moment, Nalan Yu clearly saw Mu Qian's appearance. The youth looks very young, he looks about 16 or 17 years old at most. Eyebrows like ink painting, skin as white as snow, enchanting facial features, like a God's creation born from thousands of years. The long gray-green hair slides down from his shoulders, like the finest silk, and under the lashes of the butterfly wings there is a pair of pale green clear eyes, which can captivate any soul. He looks pure and innocent like an elf, but the corner of his mouth evokes an evil smile. Two very different temperaments, but it does not give a sense of incongruity. Nalan Yu is totally stunned. He has seen a variety of beauties before in the snow continent. Those people don't know how much worse they are compared to this juvenile. Mu Qian looked at Nalan Yu's pale face and said. It hurts, doesn't it? Smile for me and I'll give you the antidote. She did not want to be the enemy of the snow's first chamber of commerce, she just wanted to play with him. This lord is not in the mood for your jokes. It's not a joke, you shouldn't be jumping to conclusions like that. Nalan Yu is furious with this youth that it almost made him to spew out blood. There is a little devil for sure that hides beneath his enchanting face. Ha ha ha, Mu Qian chuckled. All right. I'm not playing with you anymore. The smile on Mu Qian's face let Nalan Yu look in amazement. A casual smile, like a light breeze, coupled with that flawless face, simply let all the colors between heaven and earth dim. Master Bai also froze. If this little patriarch laughed like this in the future, there will surely be accidents. Nalan Yu felt the colic on his abdomen is gone, Mu Qian said. Want revenge? Anytime. To an alchemist and a poison expert, there is no need. This lord will not do irrational things like that. Say. Can we start again? Mu Qian retorted. Why do I get this feeling that you only wanted me to continue making those elixirs, because you think I'm profitable? Smart. Nalan Yu stretches his arms and said in an aloof manner. Always disguising myself really makes me tired. This is also good once in a while. His attitude before is really different now, as if there are two different Nalan Yu that exist. Mu Qian smiled and said. Don't worry. Just work with me and you'll earn a lot. The things that were auctioned today are very useful to me. I will look forward to your cooperation in the future. Sure, I also look forward to working with you again. Nalan Yu nodded. All right. Suddenly a question rings in her mind. She asked. Who's the brain-dead person behind that wholesale auction? PFT. Nalan Yu laughed. You say he's brain-dead. How could you say that? When the man came to him for such an auction, he also thought that he had no brain, but did not dare to say it. That person requested many unusual things. He came up with so many expensive things to auction. What is his purpose in the end? Nalan Yu heard that he was never seen near a woman. The thought of this arrogant teenager having a special relationship with that man, Nalan Yu felt a little uncomfortable. Say it. Tell me, who is it? I'm interested. It is definitely a rich man who has more money than her. That man ordered not to tell anybody of who he is. If I've done that I would die. You don't want your partner to be killed tomorrow in the street, right? Mu Qian pondered. That man said cruel things to the Snow's Chamber of Commerce's lord. Who can it be? Is it possible? She remembered this afternoon she saw Xianyuan Zhou near here. It's not that haunting guy, is it? Okay, I won't push you any more on this matter. Mu Qian waved her hand. Nalan Yu, since we decided to cooperate, do you want to show a little sincerity? What do you want? Nalan Yu asked. The elixirs on this list, can you help me find it? Mu Qian took out a list. The mentioned elixirs are all for the treatment of her little uncle's eyes. The poison is too vicious. She had used a lot of precious elixirs from the Mujia's properties, but it didn't even help her uncle a bit. Fine, once there is news. I will help you get it. Nalan Yu promised. Also, do you know where I can find a powerful blacksmith? I know already that the standards here in the Purple Moon are all useless. I'm afraid they can't build what I want. I know one, just outside the city. If you want I can take you there. Great, then after 3 days, I will come find you here. Good. Master Bai is completely numb. His lord is possessed by the devil. His lord who only seeks nothing but profit is voluntarily helping someone. He also wanted to guide this gentleman to one of the greatest blacksmiths alive. Is this a dream? Since you already know my name, it's fine if you call me Nalan Yu. Me, Jiu Yi, say, can it be considered as date between them? Jiu Ye's face became dark and the air around us is frightening. Me, sweating profusely, no, Jiu Yi, calm down. It's a joke. You know Mu Qian is dense, she probably don't know what is a date, right? Right? Jiu Yi. It's really a pas sing game. I am Mu Shi, from a branch of the royal family. Although she borrowed Ah Ting's face, but the name she used is her own simplified name. She yawned and lazily said, "It's getting late. I have to get some rest. See you in the next 3 days." She left like the wind. Nalan Yu wanted to keep him, but there was no excuse. "Lord Nalan. Are you all right?" He now doubts that the beautiful imprecise youth did not just poison his lord but also let his lord become less and less of himself. "There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. But Lord, should we send someone to inquire about the ident?" "Tai of the prince?" Master Bai asked. He had never heard of a strange boy from the Purple Moon Emperor himself, and not only is he a young alchemist but also has vast knowledge in poisons. No, people like Mu Shi won't like if someone asked about him. "Young lord, didn't you think that you've gone too far on your promise today? You obviously can't handle the great master who, right? Is it not worth it for this lord to win over an alchemist who is under 20 years old?" he added. "After 3 days, if Mu Shi came, no matter what I'm doing, inform me first." Master Bai's mouth is twitching. Being an alchemist in less than 20 years old in the Purple Moon Kingdom is considered as a genius, but in the Snow Continent it was actually common. He'd never seen his lord so attentive before. He suddenly had a very bad feeling. "Gather round, boys." The youth finally came out. He really let us wait for long. When Mu Qian left the auction house and put on her cloak again, a few people were whispering carefully. They followed her since then. Mu Qian's eyes flashed a trace of cold light. She hurriedly turned away. She did not go straight to Mu Jia's residence. She went around a deep alley instead. Mu Qian turned around. "Since we're all not out in the open anymore, why don't you robbers start first?" She gained too many good things today, and certainly a few of the guests intended to rob her upon coming out of the auction house. But alas, smart people like the Crown Prince and Ouyang Wei did not partake. Aided on making a move on the people from the 5th floor. She definitely felt a little disappointed. A group of martial masters jumped out and yelled. "This youth doesn't have the strength of a master yet, so arrogant. Kid, you don't have anywhere to go. Leave your things behind." Blah blah blah. Mu Qian felt bored listening to his words that she could help but yawn. "I thought that this boy is great, but ha ha ha. I'll count to 3, we'll catch him all together, let him hand over all the treasures." But they haven't moved yet. Suddenly there's a skull's reflection on the floor. In an instant the whole alley was surrounded by bloody red skeletons. Clap. 3 million gold taels is not a small amount. These batch of gold were thrown at them without mercy. Ah! There were screams everywhere. Only the 9th elder have nothing to do. He just saw the heap of gold being piled up in the room, making him unable to move, and just stood there watching the others make a fool of themselves. He don't want to get hit, and since they're not aiming for him, he just stood there like a statue. The great elder couldn't take it anymore, so he shouted, "Lord, if you want us dead, just say the word. Why torment us like this?" Mu Qian looked at him innocently and asked, "Great elder, what are you saying? How can I kill you if you work hard? I just earned so much gold, that's why I'm very happy, so I decided to send these over for the elders to count. Look. Those are exactly 3 million gold taels in total. They are buried in this gold with only half life left. Where can they gather the strength to count?" The great elder glanced at the pile of gold. There are at least 3 million, all right, but what exactly did Mu Qian done in the past 3 days? He called for someone to come and hastily ordered, "Tell the Lord, this elder is already done in counting. It is exactly 3 million gold taels. Elders, you have lost." They were all stunned. Mu Qian really did it. In just 3 days she earned 3 million gold taels. They can be sure that Mu Qian she did not use any property of the Mu Jia and she has never been out of the door. The great elder composed himself and said, Lord, if you do not explain where the 3 million come from, we won't accept defeat. Me, Mu Qian, why do I get this feeling that Jiu Yi is especially kind only towards you? Mu Qian, what the hell are you talking about? Are you blind or just plain stupid? Can't you see he's trying to kill me with those scary things? Me, But the skeleton saved you. Mu Qian, huh? He don't know it's me. Are you sure you're not the one who's sick in the head? Me, are you frickin' kidding me? It was a blast, wasn't it? Mu Qian answered casually. Of course, my friend gave it to me. Friend? Lord, you have no rich friend here in the Purple Moon Kingdom, don't lie to me. Almost all of the elder are in doubt. But Mu Qian said. Didn't you all know my friend already? Although he does not visit me in the Mu Jia's residence, when he heard that I need 3 million gold taels he went to the Snow's auction house to sell his elixirs. He said that the things he sold were plenty and 3 millions isn't that much. Hiss. The elders took a breath of cold air. The man who made the incredible elixirs was a friend of their lord. Could it be that Mu Fengyun left behind this person to assist Mu Qianxi? They didn't think that such a great alchemist is willing to support to Mu Qian. If they'd known there was such a man behind her, they would not have agreed to such a bet. Now the elders have lost then, please keep your promise. Don't speak in black and white. Every month, they can only have 10 silver taels. One by one, the elders handed their rights to Mu Qianxi. What's wrong with giving it all to this little girl? Even though she had a mysterious alchemist behind her, they were still better at doing business compared to her. They all thought it would just take a short time for this little girl to beg them to take their rights back. When all of the old men left, Mu Qian turned to look at the doorway and asked the shadows that were standing proudly. Did throwing all of that gold at them felt great? The shadows looked at each other in shock. Their little master is too cool. They are all disgusted on how that bunch of old men acts towards their little master even before. But they could not help the little master from those devils due to their position in the Mu Jia. You can speak to this lord. It's great. All of the shadows said in unison. Mu Qian reminded them. Today, we hit them by surprise, but if you do not have enough strength even with a lot of money, I'm afraid you cannot hit them. Your strength is too weak. If you wanted to be cool a second time you can only dream. They clenched their fists, clearly unconvinced. These people are all the former Mu Jia's lord, Mu Fengyun carefully selected, all are excellent warriors. Although they have an absolute loyalty to their lord, they don't want someone to look down on their abilities, especially if it is their lord's daughter. Mu Qian coldly said. Do you guys think that because all of you have reached the strength of Spirit Master below the age of 30, you're all great? This talent, if placed with other powerful clans in the Purple Moon Kingdom, will surely be a subject for abuse. Ha ha ha. Truly amazing. Tell me exactly, what did you do when some witch decided to make my little uncle blind? What can you all do if some parties with the same strength of the Cloud sect appeared again? It's the case with her uncle's legs since childhood, but his eyes. Mu Qian clenched her fist, and these days she has been able to investigate the things that have happened to her little uncle before and was furious at the things she have learned. Cloud sect is the largest sect in the Snow Continent and no other family can outrank them in terms of strength. The eldest daughter of the master of the Cloud sect was fond of collecting handsome men. When she visited the Purple Moon Kingdom for the first time, she saw her little uncle. The witch wanted him to come with her back in the Snow Continent, but obviously, her little uncle refused. The witch was so angry that she believed that Mu Wuxuan can't see her beauty, thus, she poisoned his eyes that resulted to his blindness since then. Mu Qian's body exudes a murderous intent. Her little uncle did not say this heinous crimes, but that does not mean that she won't remember this vendetta. All of the shadows clenched their fist. 4 people outside, in the face of such a large force, they don't have the strength to be useful. They can't even protect the third master, little master, and the entire Mu Jia at all. Mu Qian asked them seriously. Speak. Do you want to be strong? No matter how strong or many they are, they can be still wiped out. The original lifeless shadows were now awakened by Mu Qian's words. It let their eyes burn with a fiery glow and shouted. Yes. I can't hear you. Show me your resolution. Is this all what you've all got? Lord. We want to be stronger. Let us be stronger. They shouted with determination with their hearts. A smile came at the corner of her mouth. In addition to the shadows from little uncle's side, gather them all and meet me in my courtyard at midnight. Aside being wealthy, Mu Jia can be considered as one of the weakest clan in the Purple Moon Kingdom. The Cloud sect is the largest force in the Snow Continent. It is much stronger than the Chamber of Commerce of Nailanyu. But just give her time, she's going to make them pay 1,000 times for hurting her little uncle. Third Master, are you going to stop Little Master? A shadow came back to report. Sheer is really getting more and more like Big Brother. He did not know if it was good or bad thing for a girl. Let Sheer do it. If anyone dares to hurt her, then I, Mu Wushuang, will pay him back a heavy price. His weak body, in an instant, burst out a murderous intent, same with Mu Qian earlier. The shadows came as promised. They looked at the purple figure standing in front of them. Elegant and has an bleak temperament, and most importantly a person with dignity. They felt that they saw again the former lord who had pulled them out of Hell. Mu Qian throw a scroll of paper. This is part of your training. As soon as they opened up the list, even with 100 lives they can't follow this training, is what they thought. But, since they are already determined to be strong, they don't fear death or pain anymore. Rest assured, I will not let anyone die. You are all my father had pick and my last line of defense. Mu Qian brings out countless bottles of elixirs. Think of this as water, you will all need this when you start the special training that I've made. These are spirit speed elixirs, blood elixir, and there are also elixirs that can heal internal injuries. All the shadows are startled upon the elixirs before their eyes. Aren't these all the elixirs that fetched a high price at the auction the other day? They know that these things are worth millions, but their lord said that they could drink it like water. Did they really hear it right? Mu Qian saw the confused look in their faces and said, Do not question the words of this lord. If I said it to drink as water, then drink it. But lord, we can't afford to burn money like this. We can't let the Mu Jia run out of money in order for us to cultivate and be stronger. A shadow said nervously. Who told you these elixirs cost much? I already told you to drink it like water. I did not spend too much on this, so you don't have to feel bad about it. My only request is that you break through to the strength of Spirit King and Martial King as soon as possible. Do you hear me? Yes. Everyone's eyes are burning with hope, a rapid breakthrough to Spirit King and Martial King. They didn't dare to think about this before. But with the support of the elixirs that are equivalent to second-grade medicinal pills, maybe they can really do it after all. What are you waiting for? Hurry up, if the medicine is not enough, send someone to find me. Yes. Swish, they all went to practice. The next day, Mu Qian refined a lot of elixirs. Not only was it enough for them to drink it as water, but also enough for the 99 shadows to take a bath each with it. If some people who bought this elixirs at the auction known this situation in the Mu Jia, it is estimated that they would vomit blood to death. Another batch of medicine ingredients is ready. Mu Qian is already prepared to start her refining once more. The things that she had bought with the 30 million silver taels are really amazing. But Mu Qian doesn't want to settle for less. She tried to refine a high-grade pill first. The result. Boom! A loud explosion came out. The whole Mujia's residence is shaking. Me, Mu Wushuang, can I call you Wooer? Wushuang, why? Me, nothing. Does that mean I can't? It's not springtime yet, and the reason for this explosion was Mu Qian's fried furnace. Mu Qian was not harmed when the furnace exploded. In just the right time she'd used the eternal ring to protect them, but that's not the case with Ling Ziling's hand. He crawled out of the rubbles and turned to her. He asked worriedly. Lord, are you all right? This time, Mu Qian was the one who's in distress, she muttered. How could it explode? The way I've controlled the heat is perfect. The weight of the ingredients was not wrong, right? Do I really have no talent in alchemy? Where did it go wrong? Ling Zilin comforted her. Lord, no one has been successful in refining the first time. It's normal to fail on the first one, so don't worry too much. And for a beginner in alchemy, they originally have a master by their side. Lord, compared to them you've done very well. The rest of the clan was also discussing about the explosion that occurred. What was that explosion? The Lord is learning alchemy. The second elder started laughing maniacally. She is learning alchemy. Don't know if she was killed by that explosion, but it would be really nice if that is the case. However, at this time there is another person whose laughing is more exaggerated. Ha ha. Ugly woman, I didn't know that you've have this ability. Ha ha ha. Mu Qian grits her teeth and said. If you laugh again, I will make you cry. I thought that since you're proficient in pharmacy, learning alchemy was a piece of cake to you. But as I see it now, you're a complete novice. Ting gloated all the way. So what if I'm a newbie? I will not fail the next time. In the modern times, the art of alchemy was lost. Although she has a lot of good herbs, but in the Mujia's library, she can't find a complete basic book of alchemy. The result of her incomplete research was the fried furnace. Stop being so dramatic, come here and I'll show you something. Go in, I can still go in. You and I have a contract. Although my strength isn't enough to let in your body, but your consciousness can still come in. I'll let you see a good stuff, promise you won't regret it. Mu Qian isn't used talking with him like this, so she continues to banter. I wouldn't be interested if the only thing I will saw is your little thing. Ting's enchanting face blushed red and shouted. Mu Qian Shi, do you really want to die? You dare say it's little. Isn't it true? Why don't you admit it already? Mu Qian smiled and said. Mu Qian was fighting with Ting all the way to her courtyard. When Mu Qian was gone, Ling Zilin was at loss from the start. Lord, is this really alchemy? Even if his lord did not attend any school or taught by an alchemist, the way she refines is very powerful. After returning to her room, Mu Qian's consciousness entered the SPCE of Chaos Zhejiang Pavilion. At this time, she could float on the water as she wished. Ting's figure stood beside Mu Qian. The light green eyes turned and stared at Mu Qian. Last time you dirted my lake, it took me a lot of effort to get it clean. I really don't want you ugly woman to come in again because it was a nightmare for me. Mu Qian waved her hand to stop him from talking and said. Don't talk too much nonsense, hurry, show me the good stuffs. You really take me for granted, huh? Ting moved the tip of his feet in the water and it gently lit up. The water slowly stops from moving, a flashing light green color surrounds the area like a curtain. He enchants the words. Recall us back in time. On the original clear, light curtain, strange sounds were coming out. Master, you are so bad. Beauty, let this master relieve you. Oomph. The gasping voices, the lewd words instantly turned Mu Qian's face to black. She went straight to Ah Ting and kicked him from behind. You can watch this on your own. Why bother pulling me here? Do you want to die? Ah Ting barely escaped her kick. He also looked mad, as if there's smoke coming out of his head. Wrong. This is all a mistake. A mistake, I tell you. Who let that man be with a woman in his bed almost every day? Ah Ting's power to show the past was a complete disaster. Why did it have to be the time where that person is having his way on a woman? Making Ah Ting really humiliated in front of Mu Qian. After a while, a wave in the water was seen. Finally there is a clear picture in the light curtain. Ah Ting sighs in relief. Finally it's normal. You can look now. Mu Qian was still mad. I will not look. Look at it yourself. Humph. He saw Mu Qian was about to leave. He quickly said. If you don't take a look, you'll regret it. She turned her head and saw a person being displayed in the light curtain. It's a person with a white robe, refining medicines. The white-robed man has a pair of romantic peach eyes, looks extremely charming and can confuse the hearts of people. But when he took out the pills in the furnace, his face let out a grave expression. Mu Qian saw that he is very skilled in alchemy. The way he washes, move and blend the herbs, every action is natural and unforced. Everything is impeccable. This is the real alchemy. The way he refines can't be compared to Mu Qian at all. She only tried to do it casually like how she did in the modern times. But when she saw the wonderful performance of the man in the lake, she develops a strong interest in alchemy again. Her eyes shine so brightly. Ugly woman, don't look at him too fondly. If you fancy this kind of a person, might as well get a checkup for your eyes. This guy is a scourge to women, definitely not a good man. Ah Ting warned her. Mu Qian's mouth is twitching. What is his problem this time? She is only interested in alchemy. As for that person, she thinks he's just a bit charming, nothing more. That man is mature and tempting, but her interest in medicine is much higher than her interest in men. She raised her eyebrow and asked. Ah Ting, are you jealous? I'm not jealous. Ah Ting angrily shouted. He pointed on the mysterious, giant, blue tripod cauldron in front of the man and explained. Do you see that big furnace over there? That is the eternal God cauldron, the highest pursuit of an alchemist. If you want to be the top in refining, then you have to find it. A glimmer of light flashed through Mu Qian's eyes. To be the most revered alchemist, of course, a God cauldron is essential. Mu Qian said. Since Ah Ting already showed it, when the opportunity comes we will definitely find it. By the way, what's with the lake? It's like a movie or something. It's amazing. But the words of Mu Qian just fall, the light curtain disappeared. Of course it's amazing. I'm going back in time to recreate what I remember. He proudly said. She continued to ask. Really? So what's up with the first scenes? Don't dwell on that matter. Okay, there are obviously some things that you can't tell me, but I'll make sure you'll say it in the future. She added. After seeing how this person refines, I have much more understanding on how alchemy works. I'm gonna refine some more, so take your time watching. Mu Qian laughed as she leaves. Watching her disappears, he asked. Hey! Are you sure you didn't fall for that wolf today? Me? Ah Ting, how many PORNs do you watch every day? Degree. Ah Ting, blushes red, WH. What are you saying, woman? Me, huh? Am I wrong? Didn't you just play a POR no to Mu Qian earlier? Besides, you're a teenager, you have high libido, what's wrong with that? Aw ting, red all over, arg. Shameless woman. Ho, how dare you ask me that kind of questions? Me, what's your problem? Aw. I get it now, you're a virgin. Ha ha ha. Degree, aw ting, you. You shameless woman. I won't talk to you anymore. Me, wait. Aw ting, we're not finished yet. Hey. PFT. Bwahahaha. Bad temper. She heard the words of Ah Ting with a deep doubt, in a short while Mu Qian almost fell from her chair. Her mouth twitched. Ah Ting, you're thinking too much. Hurry up and go to sleep. But it's true, that I've fell in love with alchemy. Mu Qian whispered. Success. In the Mu Jia's pharmacy, Ling Zilin couldn't believe what had just happened. The Lord's second time of refining was successful. She benefited a lot when Ah Ting showed her how an alchemist with a G.O.D level cauldron refines. Plus her refining talent is already good, of course, the second refining will be a success. When Mu Qian went into the pharmacy, she almost made Ling Zilin crazy. With 100% success rate in refining of first-grade medicine pellets were made, 100% success rates in second-grade medicine pellets were also made. Even the third-grade medicine pellets were also a success. The Lord has gone from a person who has never refined immortality pills to a novice alchemist who can refine the third-grade medicine pellets. Even in the whole Purple Moon, no alchemist can refine with such efficiency. But the Lord only did in a day and a half, unbelievable. Lord, you've been refining almost a day and a half now, please have a rest first, do not to put your body to exhaustion. Ling Zilin could not help but remind her. You're right. Mu Qian also felt tired, she's done testing all of the immortality pills anyway. Oh no. Mu Qian suddenly remembered her appointment with Nailan Yu. She dived into refining medicines that made her to forget everything. Mu Qian ordered, Little Lin, clean up this place, also what happened today you must not tell anyone. Yes, my lord. The Lord spent only 1.5 days to be an alchemist, albeit only a beginner, but with her talents it may cause shock to others. Mu Qian quickly changed, she left quietly. Master Bai, who's patiently waiting by the door, saw Mu Qian coming in. Son, you've finally arrived. You don't know how long did Lord Nailan have waited for you. Actually, the Lord asked him first every quarter of an hour, until he couldn't take it anymore, he directly sent him to wait outside instead. Mu Qian was somehow guilty and said. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's okay, at least you're here now. I thought you would not come. The whole afternoon was about to end, he did not see the boy, so he felt that the boy, like a good illusion, will not appear in general. Mu Qian looked at Nailan Yu, he seems to like the color white. Today, he's still wearing a white mandarin collar long robe, his long hair is like a waterfall that was tied with a white jade hairpin. Face is flawless like jade, an elegant temperament and a smile that is not forced unlike before. He looked at her nervously. Mu Qian smiled. It's only 3 days, but you've changed a lot now, Nailan. I'm impressed. Nailan Yu felt that in front of this youth he can smile naturally, but the smile with others are still perfunctory. You're happy. Nailan Yu smiled. Of course, you look so comfortable now compared to before. The carriage is ready, come with me. The first Chamber of Commerce is worthy to be the #1 nouveau in the snow continent. Nailan Yu's carriage is luxurious to the extreme. Pulling the carriage are the most purebred of horses from snow continent. A spirit beast closest to the horse, its value can't be estimated. The carriage was very large and comfortable, because Nailan Yu was always out of the town. Inside there was a soft couch, which was covered with snow-white brocade. Mu Qian looked at the couch with two bright eyes. She directly lay her lazy self into it. Master Bai is too late to stop her. Son, the soft couch is dedicated to the Lord, no one else can use it. Nalan Yu glared at Master Bai, he instantly shut up. His lord is not angry at this time, Lord Nalan is really indulgent to this youth. It seems that since the young lord was poisoned by this boy, he became different. Mu Qian outright said. This couch is mine, I'm exhausted so let me rest for a while. Almost 2 days of being restless with refining then rushing to the auction house. Mu Qian, with this pampered body cannot carry on anymore. Nalan Yu nodded and said. I'll wake you up when we get there, go get some rest. Good. Mu Qian slept like a log, how can she be so defenseless with him? Nalan Yu froze, he grew up with a harsh environment, and even his father couldn't trust him this much. But they've only met twice, how can this youth trust him so quickly? His mouth made a warm smile, and it was really a good feeling to be trusted. The reason why Mu Qian rests sure to sleep was because she is too tired and there is Ah Ting guarding her. If there is danger Ah Ting is there to remind Mu Qian. Two people's lives together, Ah Ting will definitely do something. Mu Qian suddenly woke up, to be precise, she was awakened by the heat. Upon opening her eyes, she saw a pair of warm eyes. Nalan Yu softly said. You woke up. It's hot. What is this place? She asked. This is Flame Dragon Mountain, we're looking for an alchemist who live around here. Nalan Yu explained. Mu Qian murmured. She had read the records about the Flame Dragon Mountain, she learned that there is a big, eccentric man on this place and no one can come near him. If it hadn't been for Nalan Yu to bring her here, she wouldn't have known that this so-called big shot was a liar. Nalan Yu took Mu Qian up the mountain. On the top of the mountain there is a house that looks like a lumps of steel. Who's there? Ahoa. RSE voice came. Nalan Yu's standard smile appeared again, saying. It's me, Junior Nalan Yu. I'm here to make a request to Master Huiyun to create a piece of spirit tool. If Senior Hua agrees, I will fulfill any condition you have. Kid, I already told you before that I've stopped on doing that, even if you have more money in the Nalan family, I still won't change my mind. Now get the HELL out of here. If it wasn't for the fact that your surname is Nalan, I've already burned you to ashes. Nalan Yu seems to touch a sore spot from Master Hua, his grumpy scolding began. Senior Huiyun, this junior is sincerely asking for your help. Anything you say, as long as we at the Nalan house can do it, we'll do it for you. Get out. One more word and die. For a moment a violent murderous rage swept by. Mu Qian's pupils are shrinking, this eccentric old man's strength is in the peak of Spirit King, almost the same with her little uncle. Even the weakest countries can't compare to a simple citizen in the snow continent. In this world of martial arts, the strength is too important. She needs to get stronger sooner, even though her little uncle is the strongest in the purple moon that is not the case outside. Perhaps in this kingdom, in addition to the Xianyuan Jiu Yi and his housekeeper, there are people also hiding which is more powerful than her little uncle. Because of this crisis, she must fulfill her goal no matter what. That eccentric old man must build her weapons. Get lost. Nalan Yu was helpless and apologized. Brother Mu, sorry to disappoint you like this, I did not thought that Master Hua's temper is worse than what I've imagined. But Mu Qian raised her voice and said. Of course that old man's temper is bad, he's close to dying, how can it not be bad otherwise? Suddenly, a violent breath rushed out. Lad, what are you talking about? BME, Nalan Yu, what is your type? Closes his book and let out a smile that is not a smile. Nalan Yu, I guess my type is a person with an outstanding beauty and talent. Me. Ah. Like Mushi. A chilling air fills the surrounding me, Nalan Yu. Whoa. What are you planning to do with that sword in your hands? He smiled again, but his eyes isn't filled with mirth. Nalan Yu, you don't have to ask. He smirked, 'cause you're gonna die soon. Nalan Yu brandishes his sword like a madman, me, Nalan Yu. If you don't stop now, I'll complain about you to Mu 11. He stopped and looked at me with a beguiled smile. Nalan Yu, fine, but you better be clear that if our reaches Mu Shi's ears, I'll make sure to kill you without anyone finding out. Me, arg. I hate you. You're not cute anymore. Plus. The Lord is about to be expelled. Nalan Yu was pale due to Mu Shi's unexpected words. He hastily said, Brother Mu, let's go. If you want to go then leave, but this kid will stay here. A middle-aged man dressed in rags and full of beard and mustache stood in front of Nalan Yu. He stared at Mu Qian and said, Boy, if you have the guts, say it again. Mu Qian scanned his whole body and said, You're suffering from fire poison, moreover it already reached your bones. As I see it, you will only live for about half a month. He asked Master Hua. What? Did I say something wrong? Want to kill me? What's the point? I'm just telling the truth. Master Hua was surprised. How did you know? Even Nalan Yu felt somehow shocked. This is just their first meeting. How can he judge that Master Hua has been poisoned by fire? Mu Qian slowly said. The tones of your voice sounds like you're hot yet you're not breathing properly but intermittently. When you move, the breath is not stable, and the color of your face is an abnormal dark red. There's also signs of a black fire in your eyes, fingers. Based on these, I judge you only got a half a month to live. Nalan Yu and Master Bai were shocked. They both knew that this youth is talented in alchemy but they did not expect that he's also knowledgeable to diseases and such. Master Hua laughed. Only half a month, I only have half a month left. He laughed like a madman for a while but shut his mouth after. I don't want to die. Master Yun said as if talking to himself. Nonsense. How can I die like this? I haven't become a senior alchemist yet. All these years, I've worked so hard, so how do you expect me to believe such things? Mu Qian interrupted him and said. That's easy. I'll give you the antidote to save your life, then you'll have to do me one favor. Master Hua stared at her and asked. You? I've already asked a lot of senior alchemists of my poison but all of them said there's no way to cure it. Just because they don't, that also means that I also don't have a way to cure it. Boy, tell me how can I trust you? Because I know that your symptoms and you only have a half a month to live. If you won't trust me on this you'll die without trying. The boy said this in a confident way. With the gentle wind that sways her hair and an enchanting face like an elf has bewitched the hearts of all the people present. Like watching a magic, their eyes only looked at Mu Qian. Master Hua breathed deeply. Okay, I believe you. As long as you save me, I'll do what you want for free. Mu Qian laughed and said. Alright, remember your words today. Nalan, you testify. Sure. Nalan Yu nodded. Also to add, I always keep my word. Mu Qian smiled at Master Hua's way. This is our agreement. When will you give me the antidote? The longer the time, the more difficult, so of course, I will detoxify it now. Now? Master Hua opened his eyes in shock. Yes, right now. Mu Qian fortunately brought her silver needles on her body today, so she can use acupuncture on him. Master Hua's whole body is covered with silver needles. But every time the needles move, he felt that his body is slowly recovering. He felt a lot more comfortable compared to before. After the acupuncture, she asked, "I'll have to borrow your pharmacy to mix something. Not just the middle refining chamber, you can also use other rooms." Master Hua said. After a while, he took out a bottle of potion and said, "Drink this, it will completely remove the fire poison in your body." Gulp. Master Hua didn't say anything, he directly took the potion in Mu Qian's hand and drank it in one go. After a while, he felt the efficacy of the drug. He suddenly felt that every inch of his body doesn't feel hot anymore, directly rushed outside and yelled. "Ah! Ah!" Master Bai whispered. "Master Hua, did the antidote work?" "Yes." Master Bai thinks that this youth is a miracle. He knows that Master Hua have already been diagnosed by a lot of senior-level alchemists, but none of them can cure him. But now, the youth only gave a bottle and Master Hua's poison was completely detoxified. Nalan Yu laughed. "Are you saying Mu Shi is better than a senior-level alchemist?" Mu Qian denied and said, "It's not that I'm better than a senior-level alchemist, it's just that I specialize in surgery, and I have a way with poison, you know." Nalan Yu smiled. In the first place, he already has suffered enough from his poison. After a while, Master Hua, who was full of energy and excitement earlier, have come back and asked Mu Qian, "Boy, I am a man of my word, what do you want me to make?" Mu Qian took out the drawings. Master Hua was completely stunned upon taking a look. "What are these? I've been refining my whole life, but I never seen such thing like this." But Mu Qian just said, "Don't ask what these for are, but tell me first, can it be done? This thing is not difficult, do you have any more requests? The needle should be sharp, with a variety of size and..." Master Hua took note of all Mu Qian's request but said, "These are easy to do, but recently I have no good ore." Mu Qian directly pulled out the ore she got from the auction house and said, "Here, pick anything you need." "D-A-M-N. Where did you get so many treasures like this?" Master Hua saw the ores in front of him, his eyes shone as if he saw a beauty. Good Lord! There is even a nebula Oregon. He was never excited like this in the past, for what have happened today he almost felt like crying. Mu Qian said, "If you like these ores so much, then give me an advanced-level medicinal cauldron. Mu Jia's equipment are all low-level, it's time for a change. She's a little bit powerful now, but the eternal G.O.D. cauldron was too far away from her." "It's getting late," Master Hua said to Mu Qian to come back after 7 days to pick up the things she wanted to get done, while the cauldron would take a half of month to finish. On the way back to the capital, Nalan Yu asked, "Brother Mu, I always think that you're very knowledgeable, to be honest I have no idea on that thing you've asked him to make." "What is that?" Mu Qian casually said. "Those needles are my weapons, it can kill or save people. In this world, immortality pills and elixirs aren't perfect. Her agents can sometimes make up for the vacancy, with these two together is the best choice." Needles. Nalan Yu whispered this word, still do not understand what it is. There are so many mysteries to this boy. After returning to the first chamber of commerce, Mu Qian is ready to say goodbye, but Nalan Yu said, 7 days later, I'll go with you." Mu Qian waved her hand in protest and said, "No. You are the lord of the first chamber of commerce no less, I know you're busy enough and since I already know the place, I can go alone." But his words have not finished, Mu Qian already disappeared in front of him. The strength of the youth is much lower than him, but the body is surprisingly fast. After fixing her problem with the drug needles, Mu Qian heard a very unpleasant news. "Lord, the Royal Academy have sent you a warning, if you ditch CLA's tomorrow they will expel you." Mu Tu came to report. "I am late on posting aren't I?" It's my mother's birthday today, hence the reason for forgetting to update this until now. So yeah, hope you enjoy reading this chapter. To be Ashura's roommate. The former her always ditch CLA. In the span of 3 years it only took 20 days to forget that she is a student after all. Prepare the carriage, this lord will go to the academy. She will go to the academy to play. Let those old guys jump for a while. Let them jump higher, so that the fall will be more miserable. Yes, my lord. The Mujia lord's carriage is very luxurious. They are certainly the first nouveau riche family in the Purple Moon Kingdom. Mu Qian's I couldn't help but twitch, isn't this too flashy? But the horses that pull the cart are definitely top-notch. Since she doesn't have time to change carriage anymore, Mu Qian decided to put up with this for now. Purple Moon Royal Academy is the blessed school in the whole kingdom. Those who enter the academy have a family background, a strong talent or both. The former Mu Qian doesn't belong in any of the category. Mu Qian's carriage that was about to arrive to the Purple Moon Royal Academy was blocked suddenly by another carriage. The curtain was pulled up, maids from the palace stood from each side and someone inside yelled at Mu Qian's way. Mu Qian, you waste. You're the shame of the whole Purple Moon Kingdom. What are you doing here? If you still won't go back to your smelly Mu Jia, believe me, this princess will kill you today. The news about Mu Qian defeating Mu Ruyun and Xianyuan Li Tian was sealed to death, because both the second elder and the royal family doesn't want this thing to get out. As for Xianyuan Li Tian, who was thrown inside a coffin and paraded in the street. Everyone thought that he was bullied by the peerless seventh prince. The eighth princess, Xianyuan Jia, is still naive on the truth about Xianyuan Li Tian, so she still treated Mu Qian as waste like before. If Mu Qian defeated a genius like Mu Ruyun with only having the strength of a fourth-stage spirit warrior and even Xianyuan Li Tian who is second in the list of the top geniuses in Purple Moon Country, then she is the one who's more appropriate to be called waste. Mu Qian yawned and ordered. Don't stop the carriage. Go straight at them. The carriage driver was scared. Lord. That's the eighth princess. Who cares if she's a princess, she wanted to kill me so I'll do the same. Besides it's just a rundown carriage, no matter how you see it. She's the one who can't afford to pay for the damage. Mu Qian arrogantly said. The driver followed the order of the Lord. He really drove past the princess carriage in full speed. There is an accident in front of the Purple Moon Royal Academy. The perpetrators are the Mu Jia's lord, Mu Qian and the eighth princess, Xianyuan Jia. Although Mu Qian's carriage looks rustic, it was still made from the strongest metal. The princess carriage only looks elegant but lacks firmness. On this clash, it's painfully obvious who the unlucky one is. Ah! With a scream, the princess rolled down from the carriage. Fortunately, her strength is in the third-stage martial warrior so she suffered no serious injury, just a bump in her head. The princess' eyes are full of anger as she cursed. Mu Qian, you dare hit this princess. This princess will kill you. But when she was about to call her guards to kill Mu Qian, the coachman on the other carriage has rushed inside the academy. Cough! 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 The dust choked Xianyuan Jia and tears fall from her eyes. Then she heard Mu Qian's voice. Eight princess, the payment for the damage you've done on my carriage must be paid. You can go to my house to ask for the amount. I'll go first. Arg! Mu Qian Shi. You piece of shit, you're going to die. Xianyuan Jia stomps her feet in rage, she can't wait to settle the score to Mu Qian. Purple Moon Royal Academy is enormous. Mu Qian find her way to the dormitory using the former Mu Qian's memories. It was called dormitory, but in truth, it was a mansion. Because the Mujia has lots of money, before the Lord enters the academy, they gave special arrangements to the school to build her a private dormitory, where she can live alone. But when Mu Qian went to the dormitory, she found the vice president led a black figure into the dormitory. His face is filled with flattering smile. "Knight Prince, please go inside." The man's silhouetted back is impeccable, his satin-like black hair is tied with a dark red jade hairpin, his every movement is captivating, just seeing his shadow would make any person embarrass. Said. How could he be here? Mu Qian quickly rushed to the vice president's side and asked. "Wait, Vice President, what's the meaning of this? Isn't this my private place? Why did you bring in someone else?" Xianyuan Jiuyi this time has a mask on his face, his pair of icy blue eyes looked at Mu Qian like a stranger. Vice President smiled and explained. "Don't be mad, Miss Mu Qian, originally this place was made for the Knight Prince, but, since the Knight Prince won't go to CLA. And your contribution to the academy is large, we let you use the place before." Mu Qian's mouth twitches slightly. What great contribution. Her family's wealth provided the construction costs of this mansion. Mu Qian was said. "What now? Are you going to drive away this lord? This mansion is big, it is enough to accommodate 2 people. Student Mu Qian can continue to live here." Vice President smiled, he didn't want to enrage this god of wealth that will result to her donations on the academy being pulled out. "No, I don't like living with other people." Mu Qian glanced at Jiuyi. What a bad joke. Living in the same building with this guy, she'll have nightmares every night. Vice President persuaded her. "Miss Mu Qian, I really don't have a say on this matter. If you want to live alone on this mansion, please talk with the Knight Prince." He hastily said. I forgot that I have some urgent matters to do on the academy, so I'll go first, okay? His strength is in the 7th stage Spirit King. Even if Mu Qian fly like a bird, she still won't catch him no matter what. And Vice President, so irresponsible. Mu Qian's forehead is full of black lines. With the Vice President out of the scene, only 2 people were left behind, making the surrounding in an awkward silence. Xianyuan Jiuyi's thin red lips moved and said, "I'm not leaving." Having said that, he gracefully turned around and went upstairs. Mu Qian chased after him. "Jiuyi, upstairs is my place. Your place is here below. This SPCE here is mine." Icy blue eyes sweep over Mu Qian. There is no way he will live below. "I will live here, so the above belongs to me. Either you're down there or live together with me on the top." Xianyuan Jiuyi said smoothly, then turned upstairs. He didn't even give Mu Qian a time to talk. The only thing that matters to her is that the top floor has the only bathroom. If this guy also lives above, she will have to cross his room just to get back at hers. There's an unknown chill in the other room. It was even better than an air conditioner. Mu Qian helplessly lied on her bed. Bastard. How can he be so haunting? She felt that this guy had his eyes, automatically follows everywhere she went. Mu Qian can't stand it anymore, she thought for a moment and muttered. Ting, is he afraid that I will run with the Eternal Pavilion? That's the only reason I could think of. So how about we make a deal to him? How about you go and hang with him? Me, Jiuyi, welcome back. I almost forgot that you're the ML due to your short screen time. Ha ha ha. So, let me ask this question for now. How would you treat Mu Qian since you're considered as living together now? Jiuyi, isn't it obvious? I'll watch over her every day. Me, that's all. Jiuyi, I'll also never leave her side. Me, and Jiu Yi, I'll make sure no one else can disturb our life here together. Me, are you out of your mind? She won't feel safe but scared if you do that. Jiu Yi, you dare shout at me. Me, Jiu Yi. You broke my table again. I just bought that. Hoo hoo. A crime scene. Ah Ting gnashed his teeth. You heartless woman, do you dare to do that? Mu Qian whispered. I'm just joking. Ah Ting, you are one of the eternal artifacts, the eternal pavilion. How can I easily give you to others? Humph. At least you know. Ah Ting coldly said. She saw his bitter face. She won't allow herself to give Ah Ting to others. But she couldn't get it out of her head. What does the beautiful and unique person like the Night Prince wants to do in the end? Don't even think about it. If you practice enough to be better than him, will you still be afraid? This time, it was Ah Ting who's encouraging her. Mu Qian was awakened by his words. Yes. As long as my strength is enough, even if this guy mysteriously appeared again, there is nothing to fear. Since she's back at the academy, naturally she has to go to CLA. She doesn't want to be the first student to be expelled in the Purple Moon Royal Academy after all. The teacher in the lower CLA. Was surprised by the arrival of the richest lord of the Purple Moon Kingdom. After CLA. He reminded everyone. It's been 3 years already. The school assessment will about to begin, for those people that will not pass to the intermediate CLA. I'm afraid you will have to withdraw from this school. The others are fine, but the teacher looked at Mu Qian. Mu Qian, she was the only one in the lower CLA. That hasn't said yet to the intermediate CLA. In the past 3 years. Mu Qian is somehow anxious. It seems that in this school assessment she will flunk in the end. The teacher added. Since that is the case, I will lead you to the martial arts field next where you can exercise your combat effectiveness. All of the students are looking for a partner to practice with, only Mu Qian acts like she doesn't care. Because of the careful teaching from Mu Ruyun, the popularity of the previous her is very poor that almost no one approached her except Mu Ruyun. Swoosh. A sword was drawn out, pointing to Mu Qian. Mu Qian, do you dare to accept my challenge? The crowd froze. How unexpectedly made a challenge. He's in the 3rd stage of Spirit Warrior. In the coming assessment it will likely move him to the middle CLA. He is the strongest in our lower CLA. Why did he even challenge Mu Qian the waste? For sure that waste is afraid to accept that challenge. As I see it, she will run off soon. She'll be gone for at least 3 months. This lower CLA. Is really on point with its name, as the strength of a 3rd stage Spirit Warrior was considered as the top. Mu Qian was helpless. This opponent, she's too lazy to even lift a hand. But, she can't let them down. Mu Qian glanced towards How. Her lips slightly evoke a smile, and her dark eyes were deep like an abyss. Sure. I accept. One look, her indifferent self gives How's heart a shiver. The palm of his hand holding the tilt of the sword was full of cold sweat. Mu Qian raised her voice and said. Who will fight How instead of me? This lord will give him 1,000 taels. You. What's wrong? I accepted your challenge, but that does not necessarily mean that I will fight you on my own. Mu Qian arrogantly said. The crowd saw that Mu Qian isn't joking. Soon, someone jumped out. CLA. Smate How, if you have the guts. Fight me. The teenager who appeared looks like a big bear in general. His strength is almost on par with W.A.N.G. How. W.N.G. How didn't agree yet, but this bear rushed towards him immediately. Bang, bang, bang. Although the first player did not beat W.A.N.G. How down, fighting with him already consumed a lot of his strength. Mu Qian gave the bear a banknote worth 1,000 taels. This is your reward. The others looked straight at each other. I didn't think that it's true. O-G-O-D. Mu Qian is really the Mu Jia's lord. She's too rich. She can hand easily 1,000 taels. We're on to W-A-N-G. How, fight with me. W-A-N-G. How, come to me. W-A-N-G. How. One by one, a battle of survival. Even if W-A-N-G. How is the strongest on the lower CLA. S. Opponents with this quant. Tai will surely give him misery. His face is swollen just like a pig. The spirit energy is almost exhausted, but they are still coming one after another. W-A-N-G. How can't continue any longer. Stop. I can't do this anymore. Do you know who I am serving? Clash. Cut this C-R-P. I'm gonna make some money for my brother, so sacrifice yourself. Plop. Princess, help, W-A-N-G. How cried towards a corner. But his savior didn't want to do it. What do we do now, princess? W-A-N-G. How clearly can't do what you want. At this rate he will continue to call your name. A maid from the princess' side asked. Mu Qianxi, I can still proceed on my revenge today. I must report this quickly. In this school it is prohibited to fight. We're about to be graded for A.S. assessment, so I must make her look good with the teachers. Xianyuan Jia coldly answered. Mu Qian glanced at the corner, her eyes flashed a cold light. Want to take revenge, but also with a challenging means. If you have the courage, then continue to humiliate yourself. Finally, W.A.N.G. How was carried out due to his injuries. Many students came to the Lord. CLA. Smate Mu Qian, if you need help again for things like this, come find me. CLA. Smate Mu Qian, thank you so much. I can finally give my mother a few more clothes. The lower CLA. Where Mu Qian was placed is considered as the lowest of the low. Many students without a good background are placed there together. They don't live well enough to make a big difference in their future lives. After finishing today's lesson, Mu Qian returned to the dormitory and wanted to take a bath in the hot spring. But what shocked her is the flawless skin like a white jade that is soaked in the dense spring water and delicate rounded shoulders that have drops of water that looks like little crystal instead. His eyes were closed as if he's taking a rest. The mask has been removed. His impenetrable eyes and inscrutable countenance can captivate any living being. He's a criminal, all right. Mu Qian took a deep breath. She learned from her memory that there is a natural hot spring bath on the first floor. She wanted to enjoy the said hot spring but didn't expect that she'll come across with this scene. Crash. Jiu Yi stood up, his eye-catching black hair slipped on his waist. His cold air overshadowed the hot springs. Mu Qian wanted to act as if she did not see the thing she wasn't supposed to see, but failed miserably due to the chilling air coming out from him. The cold voice came. Have you seen enough? The crystal-clear drops of water fell from his head to his shoulders. His icy blue eyes are moist due to waking up abruptly. It's all too tempting. Mu Qian's heart was beating like crazy. As if it's not her heart anymore, she complained. You already have the only bathroom for yourself, yet you also use my hot spring to take a bath. Now we're even. Goodbye. Mu Qian fled to her room in the second floor. she cherishes her life, so it's best to get away from Xianyuanjiu quickly as possible. When Mu Qian walked away, the pair of icy blue eyes looked a bit treacherous. With his husky voice, he said, "Benjun does not like to lose." Due to living with Xianyuanjiu, it made her feel that her life here is too risky. When she said the school assessment for the middle CLA, she plans to continue the style of the former her, without getting expelled. She will skip school until the end. The first examination of the Royal Academy was about to begin. She can't believe it, the first exam turned out to be a basic written exam. Since the day she went to the academy, she investigated the situation in the Purple Moon Kingdom, Snow Continent, and a little bit of alchemy. She don't have the time to take a look at the academy's courses. Now the test will about to begin, she doesn't have the time to cram now. There's nothing in the former Mu Qian's head. Mu Qian looked at the scroll, and the first question is, how to absorb qi. The second question, the third question. What the hell is this? It seems that with just the first exam, it will be the end for her. Next update will be on Monday. I'm on official business during this weekend. The Night Prince helped me cheat at this time, the teacher said. This is the first exam, if not said, then there's no need to continue the other exam and you will be expelled immediately from this academy. She is the genius ghost doctor, is she bound to be expelled without proving herself first? Suddenly, there is a black figure at the entrance of the room. The temperature of the entire examination room becomes cold instantly. The proctor teacher said, "Student, the exam already began. You are already a quarter of an hour late and must." Night Prince. When the teacher saw the appearance of the person coming in, he paled instantly. "Night Prince, please come inside, here have a seat." The attitude of the examiner changed 360 degrees in an instant. Why is he taking the test? Don't tell me, he doesn't want to be expelled either. Mu Qian said to herself. She wanted to ask, why did the Night Prince came back? Ever since he turned 16 years old, he never returned to the academy, or what did he done for those past years? She doesn't believe that the Night Prince is afraid to be expelled. After all, in the hearts of the citizens of the Purple Moon Kingdom, he is an evil spirit. No one dares to provoke the devil incarnate. Expel him, if you dare. After Jiu Yi takes his seat, Mu Qian found out that the other student's writing hand is shaking. This guy is too scary. Don't come out please, look at what you've done to these poor children. The first question, the source of qi is. Mu Qian, who's still busy with other students' business, heard a voice inside her head. Second question. Third question. Isn't this all answers to the exam? His Highness, the Evil One, the only Night Prince. It seems that the reason he's here is to help her cheat. In order to avoid cheating, the teachers at the Royal Academy of Purple Moon placed the exam here in a room where qi isn't working, or you can say, sealed. Once someone dared to have a little action, it will be detected by the examiner immediately. But apparently, this Ashura's strength is too great. With so many examiners, even if he cheats, no one will notice a bit. If the whole Purple Moon known that the Night Prince is doing this much to help her cheat, it will be the most incredible news ever. Even Mu Qian felt this was impossible. Jiu Ye's voice in her head is getting colder and colder until he reached the 10th question. If she didn't write, not only expelled but she will also be killed. Mu Qian's memory is superb, she easily catches up to the 3rd question. She wrote in the same speed with Jiu Yi talking. After the 100th question, no one knew when had the Night Prince left. Mu Qian stopped writing. That creepy feeling hasn't gone away. She also pinched her arm, she wondered if it was all a nightmare. However, there was pain that was not a dream. The people in the purple moon cannot guess what's on that devil's mind, even she cannot do it either. Mu Qian didn't bother herself either, she directly submitted her papers. The terrifying person disappeared, there is not much time left either, so the other students have answered the questions quickly. When she returned to the dormitory, she saw Jiu Yi sitting on a white leather couch in the hall. Jiu Yi, on today's matter. Thank you. How do you plan to thank me? He did not look up, but the cold voice came out. Mu Qian felt a little headache, this mysterious man lacks nothing. She doesn't know how many times he has helped her. But she has not thanked him for anything since then. When she thought about it, she took out her newly refined elixir and put it on the table in front of him. This is the best elixir that I had, the effect of this elixir is better than a third-grade medicine pellet. I know it's not much, but kindly consider this as my thanks for today. Mu Qian knows that even a 7th grade or an 8th grade medicine pellet may not interest him that much. Otherwise, how can he easily give her the eternal God ring with no apparent reason? The slender fingers, rubbing the vial, he nodded slightly. Mu Qian, then I'll go practice. Mu Qian flashed back upstairs. Ting is right, no matter what this guy's purpose is, as long as he doesn't kill her. She has still have time to grow. By the time she became stronger than he was, she won't have to feel fear anymore, no matter what his plans were. Mu Qian understood this completely, even if she became stronger, she must still continue to improve her strength. The test scores came out, Mu Qian got a perfect score, and her grade ranked first. This achievement is simply unexpected. In the place where the exam was held, cheating is not possible. So almost everyone thought that Mu Qian the Waste is starting her new life in the academy for the better. What the fuck? She even ranked first. The 8th princess is so angry that her eyes seem to burst out. But it's good that she paused, said, so her fall will be much more miserable in the second exam. The second exam is the actual assessment. Mu Qian needs to get into the top 100 to proceed on the third exam. The lower CLA SS has a total of 4,000 people, they will be divided to 40 battlefields. 100 people will battle it out until 10 people remains. For the next stage, the 10 people will partake. IP8 on the 1-on-1 match. On the stage, the few students who benefited from Mu Qian before surrounded her. Mu Qian, rest assured, I will not let you be eliminated. Yes. The money they've got was too much, so every one of them agreed to help Mu Qian pass in this playoff. The rest of the students are annoyed, but this bunch of idiots. You cowards, you're being paid for by this piece of shit. Are you out of your minds? That's right. What does this piece of junk do other than buy people with money? She thinks she can buy all of us here, so she can't be eliminated. We'll attack together. Kill them all. After all, Mu Qian only have more than 10 people on her side and the other side has 70 or 80 people, even if they are all strong they can't support her for long. Inside the circle protection squad of Mu Qian, no one sensed a blue water dragon that suddenly fell on the ground, immediately turning the stage into ice. Ah! Then a group of people slipped, like a ball, all of them rolled off the stage together and was eliminated. This pile of people just rolled like that, only the group of people protecting Mu Qian was left. Bang, bang, bang. What was that all about? I don't know. Those people protecting Mu Qian also lose somehow. Are they hiding a hidden expert? I can't see it at all. Just when they've started to guess, the survival battle results had come out. Everyone who watched the battle can't help but talk maliciously about Mu Qian, first for the way Mu Qian bought her CLA's mate to win, as she ended up for the finals without fighting. But the finals are the highlight of this AS assessment. This match is a one-on-one game. No matter how much Mu Qian tried, she can't possibly buy her opponents at all. Added with the fact that the students that also ended in the finals were full of contempt for Mu Qian, the teacher announced a long list of tie-in. After reading it's finally her turn. Mu Qian Shi vs Ouyang Axian. Find a guy who can help you pass the test. Ha ha ha. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.